to me. Why? Why should I listen to you?
I'm gonna tell you.
You're gonna tell me what, man?
How it's supposed to be.
What are you gonna be? What are you gonna be?
I'm gonna be a free man.
Oh yeah?
I'm gonna fight until the end.
What are you gonna find?
I'm gonna find the answers here.
What are you gonna do with it?
I'm gonna make it all quite clear.
Oh yeah? Hey man, welcome to the Chris and Mike Show. I'm Chris, he's Mike. The portion of the show is brought to you by Riverside FM, the one and only choice for podcast platforms. Remember, we're live on Twitch, YouTube, and streaming directly on our website at chrisandmikeshow.com with Nate Palmer.
Welcome back, Nate.
Nate Palmer.
Thanks. It's great to be here. Have you heard that song before?
A couple times. Times I've heard that song before. You know, that's why I can have a conversation.
A lyric or two to that.
So there's a funny bit, man. I saw a long time ago on Saturday Night Live where one of the actors on the show was doing that with the song. I'm like, that's fucking brilliant. So it
That
just
was really
dawned
good.
on
I liked it.
Yeah.
You know,
So it
my favorite song moment at SNL is when Kristen Wiig and Fred Armisen, Fred would sing a song that he's making up, and Kristen would be like, "Yeah, I know that song," and try to sing along with it on Weekend Update. That's my favorite type
I
of
never
humor.
saw
I
that,
love
Nate.
that.
I'm gonna have to YouTube that. That sounds cool.
Was she in the Penelope character? Because remember the Penelope
I think
character?
they're like a band, or they're
Okay.
married, but they're a
Oh,
couple or something
yeah.
like that.
Oh yeah. Her Penelope character is pretty cool too, because it was where she was twirling her hair, and you'd be like, I can bench 450 pounds 6 times. Yeah, well, I can bench like 500 pounds 12 times. So there's that. Like everything that you would say, she one-upped. And we actually had a neighbor at the time that as soon as that
Same
episode
thing.
of SNL dropped and we were at their house hanging out, Nick and I like, holy shit, it's Penelope. Obviously, we never told that neighbor, and I will not tell that neighbor that no name dropping. But yeah, it was a trip, dude. It was like every time from that point on, the rest of our lives, whenever we hung with them, and that neighbor would do that, we just like, yep.
That's Penelope.
It's Penelope.
There's people like that though, that you just like, you're trying to have a conversation with them, and they're like, well, actually, when I was in the Amazon jungle, and you're like, okay,
Yeah.
take a breath.
Actually, that's most people. If you notice, they're just waiting to tell you what they've done, even if they haven't done it. Right?
Yeah.
I call those people ZQ people. Zero questions.
ZQ. Zero
Here's
question.
a great.
Oh.
Here's a great example, Nate. Rogan was telling a story about this game show that he did. It was called Game Show in My Head. So one of their skits that they were going to do was there was a reporter on the street who was supposed to interview these people who had been abducted by aliens, right? They'd seen a UFO, they'd gone up in the ship, but that person is gone. So you need to fill in for the person who was abducted. He said it was 100%. Everyone did it. They're all lying, right?
Really?
But they knew they were
Yeah,
going to be
yeah.
on TV, so they signed the form and said, yeah, sure, I was abducted by aliens.
Wow.
That's how
Well,
bad
that's kinda-
people want to be noticed.
Well, that's kind of like with the reality show stuff. Like the producers will tell you, and we've talked about this when I was on that one, Millionaire Mastermind, whatever it's called, real estate show that I walked out of because of the bullshit they do. But they would tell you, like in Nate, if you're on a fitness show and you were just getting along with me, Mike, the producer, would come up, Nate, I need you to talk about Chris's sobriety because we know that's going to be a trigger for him. And we want you to poke and prod at him about how he's not really sober because at some point in time in his 20 years, he has slipped and he's just lying about it.
And that
So we
holds
want you
true to every
Yes.
reality show you're watching.
Yes.
And literally, it would be like, Nate, nobody wants to see you and Chris get along. So
No.
we're
Yeah.
going to need
Yeah.
you guys to have some kind of, hostile interaction.
Oh,
Yeah.
man. Should we do that? We can do
yeah,
it.
Yeah, we could do that.
I'm a little bit hostile sometimes.
Yeah, I could be really hostile if I wanted to. Yeah.
I could be
I
the
believe
producer
that.
Totally.
'cause I try not to be hostile.
I
Totally.
wouldn't
You'd be the
leave my
producer.
shopping cart out in front of you, Chris. I'll say that right now.
Dude, I've seen people do that when people park in those red zones in front of stores. I've seen people walk up and put their shopping carts in front of their car. So, and then when they leave, they don't realize the cart's there. I'm not there to see it happen, the aftermath of it, but I've literally watched people walk up and put their cart in front of a vehicle that's in that red zone fire lane and walk away. And I'm like, okay, and I look, I'm like, oh, that's brilliant. Like, I wonder what's going to happen.
That was my first thought when you said it, too.
When they pull out, because when they pull out, if they don't see the cart, boom, they hit the cart. And then it's like, well, what are you going to do? What are you going to complain about? You're not supposed to park there to begin with.
I feel like this all goes back to kind of like the self, like knowledge of self and just like authenticity. I think people who are who know who they are, that's like number one, my number one qualification. If I want to like be around someone, they have to be self-aware. Do you guys find that is that like, you know, you've interviewed tons and tons of people on the show. How often or what percentage of people would you say come on and are self-aware? They know who they are. They know how they present and show up.
Can I answer that question?
Ooh, yes,
I'd love you
absolutely.
I'm glad you asked that.
That's a good
because
question. Nice job, Nate. High five.
I'm going to give Chris kudos in that it would be way higher if he wasn't better at reading people's bullshit, right? So he'll text me every now and then and he'll say, and I'm not going to throw anybody under the bus, but for an example, he'll say, this person wants to come on and talk about X, Y, and Z. Here's how I feel about it. And I would say over the course of, 2.5 years we've been doing this, we've only disagreed maybe one time. And I went along with him because I felt like discretion was the better part of valor, right? If he's got a bad feeling about somebody that's going to be on the show. So to answer your, that's a long-winded way of saying most people we have on here are hyper self-aware, right?
That's
because they've lived either a hard life, an interesting life, whatever. You know, he likes to call them life's resumes, which I love. So on this show, I would say most people are hyper self-aware, and I've learned a lot from that, right? But in general, on a daily basis, the people I meet, almost none of them are self-aware. So literally, I have levels of friends, right? You guys are people that I would look to teach me to make me a better person, right? When Nate's talking, when Chris is talking, I'm listening because I'm going to learn something along the way.
Of the
Most
two of you guys,
people are waiting to answer, you know?
who's more naive? I guess naive is not maybe not the nicest word. I would say I'm pretty naive.
That's
but like
not
who's
the right word.
But who?
Who's
No, like
more-
who's more like willing to give people the benefit of the doubt,
Me.
and who's more willing
Mike.
to cut through and just be like, no, that's bullshit.
Yeah.
I'm getting a bad
Yeah,
feeling about
bullshit.
that.
That's
Yeah,
why we make
yeah.
a good, that's why we've
Yeah,
always
yeah,
made a good
yeah.
team in the band as songwriters on the podcast.
My wife is like that. She's a lot more like she's like, I don't like that person, and I'm like, he seems fine. He's nice, and then
So
she's
you and
right
I would
all the
get
time.
screwed most of the time. We're
Yeah.
gonna get taken, and I
We
have.
can't have I've gotten scammed before.
Sure, me too.
Yeah.
I think it's a woman thing because Nikki's like that. Nikki will judge. Not judge is the wrong word. I don't want to say that. She will pick up on the person's true reasoning for trying to get into our circle within the first half hour meeting them. She's only been fooled once, and the people that fooled her fooled me, and it was a real estate thing. I'm not going to go into it because I'm not going to throw them under the bus. But it was mind-boggling how she didn't catch it because it's always like if I just met you, Nate, and you and your wife were going to come over and we were going to hang out. Within the first 30 minutes, Nikki would know the type of human you are and the type of human your wife are. And as soon as you left the house after date night, whatever, she'd be like, I like Nate, or Nate, what the fuck is up with Nate? She wouldn't say it like that, but she's like, there's something wrong. But that's just, I think it's a woman thing because women have to have that extra sense because men are assholes.
Yep.
And so they have to have that internal alarm and those hairs in the back of their head paying attention to them because as women will tell you, guys lie about everything.
Sure.
Especially when you're dating, right? I mean, they lie about everything. So that's the other part of why I think the women have that extra little receptor, if you
like
want to
it's
call it that.
discernment. You know what I mean?
There you go, discernment. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But
And
I heard that women who have the best husbands hate men the most.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see that. I can see that.
Because they're like, I know what it looks like to live with a high integrity man, and therefore all this other bullshit does not fly with me.
Well, and that's part of the reason why Nikki and I gravitated each other because at the time I had shaved my head, and then I was realizing back then that women were shallow as a motherfucker because like nobody had shaved their head yet. Like I did it before Michael Stipe did it. Once Michael Stipe did it of REM, then all of a sudden, oh, Michael Stipe shaved his head and became relevant.
Kind of. Even
right.
then, it still wasn't.
True, but you had a public figure
I'll
who
agree
did
with
it.
you there, but
yeah,
I've always
yeah.
said when you did that, man, that was people have
It was
no
ballsy.
idea. I hate to equate it to the Beatles, but
Right.
it was that shocking when I saw him for the first time because he had long hair when I met him, right?
Oh.
And then all of a sudden he shows up for band practice one day and he looks like that in a time when that was not socially acceptable.
Right.
Is the best way to
Right.
put it.
which
you
is
got
why
a
we
good
ended up-
shape for your head. It's nice.
I
and-
do-
it's
thank
nice-
you.
It's
Thank
a
you.
really good shape.
I-
Mine's a little lumpier than that. I
Yeah,
don't get away with
yeah,
the shaved
yeah.
head very often.
I'm lucky
had-
in that respect too, Nate.
yeah.
Mine's like his. It's round on top.
That's nice.
Yeah.
My dad,
Yeah.
he always says I'd be screwed because he's kind of got the where
the
it flattens out
Frankenstein?
on top.
Mine's like, I
quite
got
that
flat
bad,
spots
but
on the side.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not good. It's not
Yeah,
good.
yeah,
Yo, we got a picture. Oh, we're just looking at the whole thing.
he's giving us the 360.
The 3D mapping. I saw
used
like
to
a,
have a-
I saw like a 3D render of like what they
Yeah.
thought Pharaoh might have looked like back like from like Egypt.
Okay.
A lot like Chris, to be honest.
He does
That's
look
awesome.
very. Yeah, he could
Yeah.
pass for an Egyptian.
Very Egyptian. I need to be a little tanner to be Egyptian, but
Yeah, well,
you know,
It's
you
winter
know,
time.
it is winter time. So you asked before we jumped on the show if I was excited about John Harbaugh, you know, being a Giants fan. And
I'm excited
and-
for you, and I'm not a Giants fan at all.
Me too.
Right. Yeah. Neither's Mike. Mike's a Bears fan. The Bears. Who's your team, Nate? We never talked about
Seahawks.
that.
Seahawks.
Oh, okay. So the Seahawks are favored to win the Super Bowl, which I don't understand why, because Sam Darnold is nursing an injury and he's
nursing an
possibly
injury?
playing.
I did not know
Yes. They because yesterday, because everything on social media, I mean everything was Harbaugh. So I ended up watching ESPN something inside ESPN inside football or something, waiting for Nick to come home, and they were talking about all the things. And when they brought up the Seahawks, it's I want to oblique. He's nursing an oblique injury, which really, dude, really, come on, man, you're a
Oblique's
professional
tough
athlete.
though because you can't heal.
Well,
that.
I know, and you're throwing it and shit. I
That
get it,
throws, yeah, that's going to throw off your throwing
totally,
motion for sure.
but cortisone, you know, 'cause
Yeah, shoot
shoot
that
me-
up.
shoot
Gotta
me
get
up,
through
Doc.
2 more games.
You know, cut it,
Two more
Mick.
games,
Cut it.
hopefully.
Cut it, Mick. Right. So, but you know, Jack Youngblood played the Super Bowl with a broken fibula, so I don't really care if Sam Bradford has an oblique issue, dude. Just
the tough
suck it
part
up,
about
man.
that game is you got to play somebody in your own division. Those division games are tough.
Dude, our,
Three-
the NFC West has been crazy this year.
Three of them.
We're like 40-7 across the NFL. With
Right.
And 3 of the playoff teams were from the NFC West this year.
right.
Well, last time Chris and I talked about the NFL, I said, don't sleep on the Seahawks, man. That team on
Right.
both sides of the ball is brutal.
Right.
We don't
Yeah, our
see a lot
defense
of
is
them
sick.
in this part of the country because, you know, obviously they're showing the stupid Browns and the I love the
Cowboys.
Bears, but yeah, we end up with the Cowboys as the game of the week. The few times that I've had the pleasure this year of seeing the Seahawks, what an amazing coach, offense, defense. Just it's a well-oiled machine.
I'm super excited for our
surprising
rookie
about
safety,
the
Nick
Seahawks-
Emanwari. He's a beast. He's on every play.
What's surprising about the Seahawks is the turnaround. Because how long's Carroll been gone? 2 years?
2 years.
That is
Maybe
quick.
3? Yeah, and all of a sudden they're back in the playoffs. And Carroll got a 1-year deal, and not 1-year deal, got paid for a year and kicked to the curb and still making money.
I'd say the Seahawks
8.
found the problem.
Right, and there's still 8 openings in the NFL head coaching ranks, man. 8.
Russell Wilson, DK Metcalf, Pete Carroll. I don't even think Geno
well,
Smith was the
Russell-
problem.
Russell Wilson was not. Russell Wilson was done. He should never went to Pittsburgh. He should have retired after Denver. He should have just.
I heard someone say he played himself out of a Hall of Fame
He
spot.
did. He absolutely first
Yeah.
at least the first 2 ballots.
I would
Because
agree with
now
that.
now they're claiming some bullshit. Oh, I hurt my hamstring the second week, and the Giants. Fuck you, dude. That's just an excuse. It's like
Yeah.
you see Aaron Rodgers playing, right, when they're getting their asses kicked. All of a sudden he's like, oh my hand, oh my hand, oh I can't feel my hand, oh I can't feel my hand, oh my leg, oh my knee. And then after press conference, what's wrong with your hand and your knee? Oh, I'm not going to comment on that. I'm not going to comment on that. I'm a professional athlete. Shut up, dude. You're making excuses, man. Just please. But you know.
Here's a good statistic that I just saw for those gamblers that are out there. Matthew
Yes.
Stafford is 1-9 when it's under 20 degrees. He's only won.
Really?
Yeah.
And who are they playing? The Bears?
Bears.
The Bears, and it might be
In-
the
in-
coldest game ever at Soldier Field with the wind chill.
Oh, dang.
Okay. I watched this thing on the YouTube last night because I was looking for something and I couldn't find it. So it was the top 10 weather games, and the Bears were on one of them. I want to say minus 29 with the wind chill.
Yeah,
Like
wasn't that
mine-
one of the first Super Bowls? Google that.
Google that.
The Packers played one of those games too. It might be the Packers that were.
The
in
Packers
Super
was the
Bowl.
very first one, the Ice Bowl, but this one was different.
Okay.
Let me go to my YouTube because it should be on there because I watched it.
And then find out what the coldest game at Soldier Field has been recorded. Because unless the weather changes, that's one of the things that I heard earlier in the week was potentially with the wind chill, it could be the coldest game at Soldier Field, which is going to benefit the Bears mightily.
The Bears.
Ben
Well, and
Johnson
Caleb
took away the heaters all week for practice.
Oh,
Coldest
you know what
game
just
at
popped?
Soldier Field was December 22nd, 2008. Bears versus Packers. Temperatures at -2 Fahrenheit with a -13-degree wind chill.
Wow.
I'm Nate Palmer. I'm faster than Chris Dunham. But check this out. This is pretty cool. Look what popped up. Look what popped up on the YouTube. Right there. We're live right now.
We're live on
That's
YouTube.
Nate Palmer.
Like, isn't that a trip? Like,
I know that dude.
I pulled it up and we're live. And then
What
there's
is that?
Miles
What
Kennedy.
faces are we making?
I don't know. It's
Probably
interesting ones
stupid
though.
ones.
It's interesting ones though. I can't make that go. But I thought that was crazy just dialing in and okay, so I got to like where do you find what history will tell me.
History's mystery.
There it is, top 10 craziest, top 10. Okay, there was top 10 worst weather games. So I don't want to see the volume. I want to get to
You
the
looked up
Bears.
specifically Soldier Field, right, Nate?
I did, yeah.
Okay.
Because
Yeah.
Chris was busy.
Yeah.
I'm busy,
I had to
man.
step in.
I'm busy. I'm
appreciate
trying,
you.
man.
We
I'm
appreciate
trying, Nate. You know, I'm a little slow. I switched to
No,
Senka
that's what
today.
I'm
so
just,
glad
I love to
you're
be
here,
helpful. I'm a surgical with Google.
So we're gonna let this play in the background because I think it'll be fun to have it on the side. So these are weather games. So that was super cold, that game.
I was going to say, I don't see any weather. It just
No,
says
there was a super cold one.
Okay.
Super cold. Super cold.
In Dallas?
Yeah. It was either that or maybe it was humid, super humid, like 109 degrees. That's what it was. 109 degrees at
Everyone's
kickoff.
cramping.
It was the
wow.
hottest game in NFL history.
Okay.
The humidity must have just been stifling.
That's just as
Stifling
bad as
humidity.
being negative 13. I
Amen.
don't like either one.
I don't like either one either. So that's number 9. Game number 9. Andy Reid when he was skinny.
And younger?
The Bears. So let's see what they say about this one. Oh, the wind. 27-mile-an-hour winds throughout the game. 95 combined passing yards with 6 turnovers. Okay. 27-mile-an-hour winds, man, throughout the game. And look at this. Look how it moves. Look at that.
Nobody
And he missed it. He missed it. Like, talk
nobody
about a
even broke
slice.
50 yards passing on either side of the ball.
No. It was crazy. And I don't remember if this is a run back or not, but it may be the run back that sealed the game. Yeah, he runs it back all the way back from the field goal miss. Yeah,
Oh, yeah, I
Nathan
remember
Vasher,
that.
100. Yeah, that was the longest field goal return in NFL history at the time.
Yep.
At the time.
Basher.
Yep. And he just falls in the end zone like, damn, I'm tired. So you got another Cowboys game. The snow game, 16-14. Oh, it's honorable mention shit. They were doing honorable mention stuff, which was irritating. There's a pretty fun snow game. 1948 NFL championship game. Chicago Cardinals, Philadelphia Eagles. Look at that shit, man.
Wow.
That's crazy.
That's how football should be played. That right there.
That's nasty.
And again, it's an honorable mention. It's not actual the thing. So here's number 7. This one's pretty cool, if I remember correctly. One of the kickoffs or punts, the ball just goes doop right into the ground. But look at all this snow, man. Like it's while you're playing the game. Like
But let me tell you, they're in Detroit, right?
Philly,
Detroit
that's
or
Philly,
Philly?
man.
Okay.
That's Philly.
Well, they have the same thing. They're close to water. When you're close to water like
Right,
that, it is
right.
fascinating how fast snow can accumulate.
Right. So look at that. The wide receiver had 243 return yards and 2 touchdowns. LaShawn McCoy had 29 rushing, 217 yards and 2 touchdowns. Totally a ground game. That was the 7th worst one.
I think we're going to see a lot of ground games in the
There's the mud. There's the
quarterfinals.
mud. The Vikings and the Rams. That was in L.A. The Vikings went to L.A. and
Wow.
and just Rams threw the ball over 3 times. That was a muddy, sloppy game. Number 5 was a snow bowl, or was it the fog? Remember the fog game, Chicago fog game? No, this is the
Lake
Chicago
effect
game
snow.
with the lake effect. Yeah. Nope, I'm sorry, not the Bears. See the ball just dunk. watch. Dunk. What is the
like
Bills?
6
Oh, it's in the
inches of
Bills.
snow on the ground.
It was in Buffalo. It was in Buffalo. Yeah, Buffalo and the Colts.
Gross.
Watch this guy gets tackled by the snow. Like legit, he gets tackled by the snow. Oh, snow tackle.
Oh man, you're that cold though, and you get hit. That would hurt so bad.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
big
what I was
time.
thinking too, man.
This is the water game where they had the field was an island. It's coming next. The field was an island. Remember this in Carolina,
Yeah.
the Tsunami Bowl.
Yep.
Yeah, the field. They had 6 inches of water around the field. They said while I was watching this, but legit, just sloppy,
You can
wet.
see the lakes on the
Yeah,
field.
yeah,
That's the anti-ACL bowl.
yeah. 4 inches of rain fall beginning in the second quarter. 4 inches. So first quarter dry. Second quarter, 4 inches started coming down.
And that's the way it works.
Yeah.
Get close to what Jacksonville. That's they get that.
Well, that was North Carolina. Yeah,
Yeah, same
North
thing.
Carolina. Yeah, yeah.
Anytime you're that
And
close
then
to the ocean, it's crazy. How much it
Icicles.
can rain
Okay, so
fast.
cold one. He had icicles on the eyebrows.
Oh, this was a disgusting game. I watched this in Panama.
Yeah, Patriots defeat the Dolphins, the lowest scoring Monday Night Football game in history.
3-0.
3-0. 3-0.
That Seahawks game
And
we
then,
won
and then,
10
and
to
then, and then
9,
here's this, and then here's this one. So
which
it
Blair
was,
Walsh is
minus,
botching
Yeah,
5 field
Yeah.
goals.
yeah. There was that stat. I want to get that stat.
And then we signed Blair Walsh 2 years later. I was like, well, you guys forgot?
He missed
Right.
5 in one game.
Maybe it was 4, but it was
Still.
disgusting. Yeah.
That's
yeah,
crazy.
there's a thing going on one of the Giants pages to everybody send Tyler Lupa a thank you card for missing the field goal for Harbaugh getting fired. So this was minus. This is what I was talking about, Mike. So you're this. It wasn't the Bears, but minus 6 degrees at kickoff, minus 25 wind chill was the third coldest game in NFL history. And this was the Seahawks and the Packers. I mean, not the Packers, the Vikings. Icicles on his eyebrows.
You got icicles on your eyebrows.
And what? So was that? So no. Minnesota had an outdoor stadium.
How the hell did he miss that?
I
coulda
don't
kicked that.
remember that. I guess they did, huh? Before they
Yeah.
went dome.
Yeah, that.
So then
dome's
the muddy-
fairly new.
Okay. And then the 2007, the Muddy Night Football. This is the lowest scoring Monday Night Football game. 3-0 was the end score. And it was just mud. Look at that. Boom. See it? Just
Stuck.
Just stuck.
Wow.
And they're all walking around it.
Replace your divot.
Boom. Yeah. Lowest scoring game in Monday Night Football history. 3-0 Steelers. That's the highlight. And that's just an honorable mention, mind you. But yeah. Number 4, the Fog Bowl. The Bears and Eagles.
Oh yeah.
This is Randall Cunningham era, Jim McMahon era.
Yep. I remember that game.
What's funny is they had the commentators talking, and they're like, it's like we're in the clouds trying to figure out what the hell's going on, and we couldn't see anything. And yeah, second quarter through the rest of the game, it was just dense fog. I remember it too. It's like, how do you play in that? Which is crazy now because they'll call any game now with just a little bit of rain, right? When it starts flooding, oh, we got to call the game. We got to pause it for 2 hours. It's not safe. How is that safe?
It's not. But we were tough.
No, but it's football. It's football, right?
I can't believe we haven't seen the fans throwing snow in
Right?
Buffalo. Remember
The
that when they were
Buffalo
throwing
one? Yeah.
snowballs
Yeah.
and they had to threaten if they throw any more snowballs, they're going to start penalizing the Bills.
Yep. What was this one? Number 3. January 10th, 82. Where's that? What stadium's that? Oh, yeah. Bengals. Chargers, Bengals. The Freezer Bowl.
I love that you guys can just like do your podcast about whatever too. That's so fun.
Yeah.
I feel like
Yeah.
sometimes I go to my podcast and I'm like, oh, fitness again. I already got 600 episodes about fitness. What else?
Yeah, yeah.
I
we're
think
gonna talk
Chris
about
will tell
walking?
you that I told him probably till the point where he didn't want to do the show with me anymore. I'm like, as long as you understand that we can talk about anything at any time, this is just like we're having a conversation. It is cool.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
I
is why
know
I
he
think
got
people
sick
like
of me
it.
saying that.
No, but I think that's why people like it because it's
fun.
conversational.
Yeah.
The Tuck
is
Rule
fun.
game. Everybody remembers the Tuck Rule that changed the outcome of Gruden's legacy as a Super Bowl winning coach in the Raiders
Oh, yeah.
world. 4 inches of snowfall in the game. during the game.
Oakland
And again,
Drake.
now, and nowadays they would say, "Oh, we got to stop player safety. We don't want to get a contusion on our inner thigh." Like, shut up. You're a football player, man. Number 2, and again with the Raiders. Why? Yeah. Oh, that was the same. What? That was weird. I thought the other one was number 3. Oh, we're not at number 2 yet. Okay, my bad.
There you
Jump ahead, number 2. There you go. 4 degrees at kickoff, minus 27 wind chill. 4th coldest game in history.
Burnt.
It was the Chiefs and the Rams, or not the Rams, the Dolphins.
I'm going to
It
experience
was
close
just-
to that this weekend.
Yeah, it was just cold.
Are you going to the
And
game,
then here's
Mike?
the
What's that?
You going to the game?
No.
Pause.
It's just going to be that cold in Illinois, so I get to experience it right along with the Bears.
Oh, that'll be nice. You should go outside
The Bears.
with a helmet on. Run into some stuff.
You know how you tell
number
people
1.
everything above
Go ahead.
110 is pretty much the same?
Yeah.
It's just hot.
Okay, so this
just
is the
cold.
game you want to. This is the game the Bears want to beat. Minus 13 degrees at kickoff, minus 23 wind chill.
That's
That
not
was the
gonna happen.
coldest game in NFL history.
Only wind chill, maybe.
Yeah, that's the cold. Well, that's the thing though. If the wind chill's below 23 degrees, it could be the coldest game in.
It could.
And they were talking about how they'd put their hands in their pockets like that to know it was going to be a pass.
Oh, wait. What was the actual temperature of that game? I'm sorry.
Minus 13 at start.
Oh, no.
with a
We're going to
minus
be
23
positive
wind chill.
12, so it'll have
Oh,
to be
okay.
a wind chill
Okay.
thing.
Yeah. So that was the 12 coldest games, the 12 most weather games in NFL
That was cool.
history. Brought to you by the Chris and Mike Show. Nate Palmer, special guest, athletic
Learn
trainer.
something new every day.
You know, this is all about fitness and how fit were those athletes playing that game?
Crazy.
Pretty fit, Nate.
Well, I think NFL athletes are like top tier in terms of just fitness. Like you take a tight end or a linebacker, and they can pretty much play any sport. I think basketball athletes are maybe some of the most like athletic in terms of like plyometrics and bounciness.
Okay.
I think
soccer?
gymnasts are the strongest, and I think wrestlers are the most well conditioned.
How about soccer?
Soccer's have good endurance, but I wouldn't say that they're like upper level like of elite athletes. They
Would you say gymnasts have the best core strength?
probably they're just overall like in terms of just strength to weight
Pure
ratio.
strength. Okay.
Yeah, those guys are unbeatable.
I would agree with that because one of my best friends in college was a gymnast, and that dude was strong like you couldn't even imagine. He was
Was he
built
short?
like no, he was my size and my frame,
Really?
but he looked like Nate. You know, just he was defined everywhere.
I see gymnasts all the time who like they come into the gym. Like, these are like junior high school gymnasts. They come into the gym for the first time, and then they do 20 pull-ups with 90 pounds on them, or they deadlift 405 pounds having never deadlifted before.
This dude did the
Oh
rings. Nate.
fuck.
Yeah, like they're ridiculous, Chris. They're just so strong because they move their body through space. And there's a difference between like doing a leg press is called an open chain exercise where you're moving an external load. A shoulder press is an open chain exercise. A closed chain exercise like a push up or a squat where you're moving your body through space. So all gymnasts do is move their body through space in these closed chain exercises. And closed chain exercises do two things which are really cool because they signal to your body that there's some external threat. We need to get out of this into this tree to escape the saber-toothed tiger. So they are very good at retraining your body to build more muscle and to drop more fat because it's just a safety thing for us. So it kind of triggers that evolutionary mechanism that we have to keep ourselves safe. So that's why I think that most people when they're training should do more closed chain than open chain, even though open chain like machines and stuff are really fun. Keeping something in there where you're moving your body through space and like learning that proprioception, really helpful for body composition stuff and just being strong and able.
Like this guy?
Yeah, that guy is probably pretty strong. He's got multiple abs, like 13 of them.
That's an amazing. Yeah. Fuck.
Yeah, I bet he could do 30 muscle ups.
Look at that. One arm.
Have you
Come
have
on.
you tried hanging from one arm?
I never have. I'll do it next time I go
That's
to
since
EOS.
I was a kid.
Next
Go
time I
slow
to
with
EOS.
it. Go slow with it. Start with
Okay,
2 and then let the other one drop. But it's
Okay.
It's a lot harder than that guy made it look.
Okay.
Yeah, he made it look easy.
Yeah, he makes pretty much everything look easy.
Okay, here's the rings. The rings I think are impressive just for the sheer strength.
what my
You
buddy
gotta
did.
the shoulder strength has to be insane for the rings, man.
But like what's crazy about this is that his biceps are working to like maintain the iron
Oh.
cross or the planche. Wow, your
That's so
biceps have to be
impressive.
so strong because if you're like Even if
Wow.
you tried that weight, Chris, without
Yeah.
using your body, your biceps would probably rip right off the head of your femur or head of your humerus.
Probably would.
Because that like the amount of
That's
tension and torque through this part of your muscle is absolutely mind-blowing. These guys have like the strongest arms ever, even though they're just doing straight arm stuff. It's crazy to be able to do that.
So how long would it take somebody to get to the level to do that? Because you have to practice on the rings, right? You just
Yeah.
can't. Yeah.
They make some tools for it and stuff like with things
Okay.
that'll assist you in doing those things.
Okay.
But like,
Okay.
I don't know that like as I'm 6'4", I don't know that that is in the cards for me to, like without years of training on an hourly
Specific
basis.
training. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Like I don't see that happening.
So you have to have a specific body makeup to be even geared to accomplish those two positions.
I'm not saying that someone who's 6'4" can't do those things. I'm sure that there's a lot of beasts out there who can, but they've also trained gymnastics for a long period of time.
Well, when you said that, I don't have a picture of a big, like heavyweight looking
Right.
dude as a gymnast in my mind, right?
No,
not
they're
a
all
lot of them out
5'4".
there. Yeah.
But like I said, like, and they weigh 125, 140 pounds, but their strength to weight ratio is just out of this world.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So like rings, I think is one of the most impressive
It is, man.
Yeah. Oh, agreed.
demonstrations of physical strength and ability. Ridiculous.
Yeah, I knew the first
could
time I saw that guy on the rings, I'm like, I would never cross him ever. Like, pop your head off like a zit. You know, like you said, his
Right.
arm strength was just massive.
Yeah.
These are the exercises they talk about. We can just,
Okay.
the insanity of. Okay.
So
she's gonna
the thing that
talk.
I like to do incorporate with my clients is not I
Yeah.
don't do a lot of like rings like in the way that the like gymnasts do. I'll do ring
Okay.
pull-ups and ring dips and stuff like that. But I like to do
Okay.
parallettes. So those are like the
Oh.
parallel bars. And so
Okay.
mine that I built some out of PVC pipes and mine are about 16 inches off the ground. So they give you plenty of
Okay.
space for like the L sits and kind of like the transition from the L sit to like the tuck hold and up into like a shoulder stand or even a handstand if you're really strong. But that is a really great place for normal people who want to just improve their athleticism and physical strength to start without having to get specific gymnastics equipment or do things that are like completely outside of the realm of possibility. I put up a bunch of videos on my YouTube that are like all the like the P-bar parallel like entry level workouts. But there's a ton of people like Gymnastics Bodies and probably the guy who was just on that video that sell like little handbooks on how to like build up to your first planche or build up to your handstand on the parallettes. And those can be really fun to train in conjunction with another like with strength training and cardio programs. But they're like skill based, you know. A lot of like I would even say pull-ups are skill based.
Gotcha.
Like the more you do
Yeah.
of them, the better you get at them. More so than just like building a big deadlift.
That's true, because I never did pull-ups. I hadn't done pull-ups for years and years and years. And the first time I went to Suffer City, the very first day was like, we're doing pull-ups. And I'm like, look at the pull-up bar. I'm like, serious? And I pulled off like 23. And I was like, holy shit, I could do 23 pull-ups at fucking 54 years old. Like
That's
it
crazy.
blew my mind because I didn't realize, right? Because it's just Orange Theory, and Orange Theory is not really built as a workout to give you tons of strength, right? They're trying to say they're high rocks training. Now I'm like, you're not, shut up. You're not high rocks training.
Do you know what High Rock stands for?
No, please share.
It's hybrid rock stars, and I'm going to have to insist that people, when talking about high rocks, say hybrid rock stars because it just sounds so dorky when you say that. out loud.
Okay. So hybrid rock star training is now at Orange Theory Fitness, which I don't really get because Suffer City was all about, what was it again? Hybrid rock star training. And like you're pushing sleds, you're pulling the rope from the ground, like you're laying on the ground, laying flat on the ground with the rope, and you gotta pull yourself up with just your arms and wrists all the way to the top. You're doing squats, front squats, back squats with the bars. You're doing power cleans. You're doing half cleans. You're doing jump boxes. You're got a 30-pound medicine ball, drop it to a squat, and you know these, Nate, right? And then you
Wall
rise
balls,
up
you
and
launch
throw
that
it.
bad boy.
Yeah, you have to get it at the thing, catch it, and go back all the way down. That shit doesn't compare to Orange Theory. I was having a good conversation with Lee, one of the trainers, a couple of days ago, and I'm like, and she's like, well, this is more the endurance side, and I'm like, I get that, but I've done them both. Like I've done them both, and to me, Suffer City is up here.
Yeah.
Then you got Orange Theory, then you got F45, then you got D1, and I tried them all, And the hardest by far was Suffer City. Michael attests to that. Mike thought Suffer City kicked his ass. Of course, he was just dreaming about it through my life.
I feel like
because-
Suffer City also, like, I
would
never
never do
trained
that.
there, but I've had a couple people who have gone through.
Yeah.
And it seems like what they do is they have they kind of have like the CrossFit box with like the
Right.
hybrid rock stars training, and then kind of anything in between.
Rockstar.
So they can do a lot more stuff, and they don't seem
Right.
like they're completely pigeonholed into one training
They're
methodology.
not.
So
They're
they can just
not.
make
They're
it really
absolutely
hard.
not. Yeah, they're absolutely not, because you still have the treadmill. You still have that treadmill's the groovy one, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's not just a flat one. It's a
It's
groovy
a fun
one.
way to
They
hit
have
your face on the ground.
right. They have the wind bikes, so they don't have just stationary bikes. They have the wind bikes where you're doing this and the wind is circulating in your face.
I got one of those in my garage, and I think that's my
Yeah.
best fitness investment ever.
Those things are harder than you think they are. Because when I first got there, I'm like, 10 years Orange Theory, this shit's gonna be nothing. Man, that kicked my ass the first day. Like, it kicked my ass. Like, I was sore for days. Even though I pulled off the 23 pulls, I was still sore for days. I still went back the next day because that's just my stupidity. And then I get like 2 weeks into it, this one guy ran into Nikki and I. We were at Costco or something, and I'm low key when I go work out. I have my I'm here to work out look, right? And so I'm not very approachable, people would think. And ran into this guy at Costco or something, and he starts just showering me with accolades. But he's telling Nikki, like, this guy showed up at Suffer City. We're like, who's this? And then he's balling out. He's like, he's maintaining with all of us. And we know all he did was Orange Theory because he told us that. It's like, this is crazy. And I'm thinking, no, this shit kicked my ass. There's no way. I was gassing all the day. Like, the whole thing, I was gassed. When you push the sled the first time, 100 yards or 100 feet. Oh my God. That's like, and then you got to pull it back and then you got to push it again. I'm like, oh, fuck this. This is crazy.
You got to come over for one of my Savage Saturday workouts one of these days.
I know it's hard because Saturdays are open house days and things like that. But sooner or later,
It's only
Sooner or later I'll get
6:30
there.
in the morning. You're not doing open house at 6:30.
I know.
We do a lot of
but
like,
that
I
means
used to
I
do
gotta
a
get
lot
up
of
at
truck
5
pulls there
my
because
world.
we would just hook people up to the truck.
Yeah.
But now I hook
I
people
saw
up to
that.
the other people.
I saw that on.
Because when I have 8 people, I gotta have
Oh.
like I gotta put them together or something like that. So I would do like I'll hook them there. So someone's leaning back and like giving you weight, and you got to backpedal against it. It's one of my top favorite
nice.
leg exercises of all time. A backward sled pull.
Really?
Yep.
Okay.
Because it doesn't put any stress on your spine. You can train it even if you
Okay.
have bad knees. And what's cool about it is that every single rep is what's called a terminal knee extension. So it's like that
Okay.
last little bit of a leg extension. And what's cool about that is that it's training your anterior tibialis, the front of your shin muscle, which is very healthy, which is very helpful for your knee health. And it's training your knees and your glute medius. So you're building up big, strong quads without having to do the negative, the eccentric portion like you would do with a squat. So without putting a lot of stress on your back, without putting a lot of like recovery debt into your workout, you build up this crazy burn in your legs. Because anyone who's got big quads, the one thing that tells me about them is that they are okay with suffering. They are good with it. You don't have big legs without suffering. And so if you do that for long periods of time, you get great ankle strength, great knee strength, great low back strength, and you don't put yourself in recovery debt. That's a huge win. Massive ROI exercise for me.
Right on. Well, that and the fact that the legs drive everything. So the stronger your legs are, right, the better your life is.
Yeah.
I learned that a long time ago. That you can have the biggest upper body in the world. You can bench 500 pounds, all this kind of jazz, but it's your legs that drive everything. Your legs and your
Thick
core.
thighs save lives, baby.
I'm on your Instagram. I want to find the truck pull because I want to show people. Like, I've seen it. I've seen you do it. It's freaking insane.
It's so fun. It's just like, and then people will stop and be like, "Do you need help?" And I'm like, "No, I'm training."
Right?
Well, one of the things that you said, Nate, about protecting your back, what are the top 2 things that you think you do differently than, Chris just mentioned 4 or 5 different things that he's done in his life that are, national campaigns, so to speak, for lack of a better term, right? You're an independent, super passionate about what you do. You have years of experience. What do you feel like you give your clients that they're not getting at a place like what Chris is going to that's, a chain operation?
I would say like 2 things. They're both pretty related. Number one is I don't program like stuff because I'm. Don't zoom in. Don't zoom in.
I won't.
You can swipe. It gets weirder.
I know.
No, but I don't
Keep
give
talking.
clients things for the sake of like getting them sore or tired. I don't treat soreness and tiredness as training metrics for a successful workout. I think of those things as like they're byproducts of just not having done the thing before. Chris said he was super sore after having done his workout, probably just because he hasn't done it. There's this principle called the
Right.
specific adaptations to impose demands, the SAID principle. And if I take the best athlete in the world and I have them go out and do 600 lunges, they're going to be super sore,
Sure.
even
Yeah.
if they're the greatest athletes of all time. So I always try to keep that in mind. I want to make people better and not lazy or not tired or sore. And then I always think a lot about ROI. What is the return on my investment for this workout? And especially as I've gotten a little bit older and, dealing with my clientele that's getting a little bit older too. This is a good one because I can stick myself with a needle here.
Ow. Why are you doing that?
I put a chip clip on. Yeah, it's my needle chip clip. So everything that I do, I'm trying to run through the filter of like, what is the lowest risk with the highest reward on any particular exercise.
Okay.
So there's always there's probably 8 or 10 exercises that I think of that really like kind of encompass that for me. And I have people do those exercises most of the time. And there's always some sort of dumbbell row, but you can do a million different variations of it. So I like to mix up the variations, but I'm not having people do dumbbell snatches overhead, for example. I don't think the risk
Why not?
really
Why not?
is is good for the reward there. Most people don't have great thoracic mobility. Doing something explosive up and overhead, it just puts a lot of stress on the shoulder and the whole system. So if you're not completely locked in, both mentally and physically, maybe you're a little bit tired, maybe your shoulder's been bugging you a little bit, and now your shoulder is sore for 3 months. Like that
Yeah.
wasn't worth it for that one
That's going
exercise.
to be my question. Before you get too far away from both of those subjects, how do you balance, like you said, he was sore afterwards. How do you balance how far you can push someone versus how much recovery they need before they can do that particular exercise again?
I think that's been a lot of just experience. And I've been now personal training for 17 years. And
That's
so I
what
can
I
kind
wanted
of
you to
tell
say.
when people are getting to the
Holy
point where
shit.
I can't push them more. I also have this thing I call the rule of 12. So if I'm doing a superset, so let's say I'm supersetting like a leg move and an upper body move, I don't want to do 2 moves that are both 8 out of 10. I don't want to do like an L sit pull up and a front squat, something like that. That's like both of those exercises are both like very, very challenging, like both neurologically and physically. And putting those paired together, like you can get away with it sometimes. Maybe those are both 7s, and now we're doing a 14. I think that's a little too high. I would prefer to split it. Maybe do the L sit pull up with like a single leg variation, and then the front squat with like a single arm cable variation. So it's just a little bit more like flexible with they're not having to put so much stress into their central nervous system and feeling like they're now burnt out, beat up, and they leave the gym feeling worse than when they got there. One of my big goals is whenever someone trains with me, whenever I teach a class, I want people to leave feeling better than when they got there. It's okay if you throw up. It's okay if you get a little nauseous sometimes, especially if we're pushing the pace on the assault bike or whatever. But I want you to leave feeling better than when you got there. And sometimes, that's not always gonna be the case. Your first leg day back after 4 months off is never gonna feel that great. You got to get through that piece.
Yep.
Sure.
So like all this stuff I feel like is take with a grain of salt, but that's kind of my philosophy when coaching somebody.
Okay, so now the other side of that Chris and I were talking about on the last podcast that we waited for you to show up, that I know is near and dear to your heart, that is not to a lot of other fitness programs, is nutrition. So we have a new food pyramid, right? Talk to us about
yep.
that.
Yeah. So I think that number one, I'm very contrarian. So people are on both sides. They're like, oh, I love the new food pyramid, more meat, whatever else. And people are like, that's too much fat in the whatever. It doesn't matter. No one's going to do the food pyramid. No one's ever done the food pyramid.
Thank you.
No.
So so I looked some of the stats up, and basically these are self-reported, but the amount of people who were getting the required amounts of fruits and veggies, either on the food pyramid, the original one, or My Plate, less than 1% of people were getting that.
Really?
So
Yeah,
everyone can get all
fact.
butthurt about it, but it doesn't matter. Like, no one's doing it. The one thing that I will say is that we're bringing back in protein at every meal. And while RFK Jr. is like, we're going to end the war on protein, there's no war on protein. There's protein in tortilla chips now. It's fine. There's proteins in marshmallows and breakfast cereal. There's plenty of ways to get protein, but I like that there's a focus on protein with every meal. I think that's important. That's
Yeah.
always one of my big rules for nutrition. I like to really simplify things down, and one of them is it's crazy. If it doesn't have protein in it, don't eat it. That's it. Don't if it doesn't have protein,
Right.
don't eat it. Like so, if it's like obviously like mashed potatoes is not protein, but if you're eating mashed potatoes and chicken and broccoli, that's a protein meal. Great, eat that. You know,
Right.
don't go out and eat a bowl.
Broccoli
full
has
of cereal.
protein, right?
Not really. No,
Okay.
not in any
but
A
appreciable
bowl full of cereal
quantity.
from the guy that eats a bowl full of cereal. Oh, okay. I don't know. I thought it did for some reason.
Do you know broccoli is man-made?
Yep.
Is it really?
I was
Yeah,
asking Chris.
it's a
Dunham. I
GMO.
figured you did. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. I got some man-made broccoli in my garden outside.
It's
then.
just basically mini cabbage.
Oh,
I thought it was.
It's a-
I thought it was crossed with with cauliflower.
It is.
Okay.
Cabbage and cauliflower.
Huh.
And we turned it green.
Okay. Who the hell had the idea of making broccoli, man?
They're
Like,
like,
wakes up
"We
one
gotta-
day,
let's come up with something
gonna
kids are gonna hate.
right?
What do you got?
And
Little
I
man
did when I
hates
was a
peas,
kid.
man.
I love it now.
Yeah, Jake hated green beans when he was a kid to the point that he would make himself gag and spit it out. Little man hates peas to the point that he told Skylar's mom at one point in time, when he gets 6, he'll be a big boy, he'll eat some peas. So on his 6th birthday, like dinner, like really Sky, she fed him peas, and he did the same thing that Jake did, man. He started gagging himself, and it's like there's so many other vegetables that he'll eat. Like just feed him peas.
My
You
kids
know,
love
this-
peas, and they want me to feed them like the frozen peas. They don't even want me to heat
Really?
them up. They want frozen peas in a bowl. Yeah.
Why?
Frozen?
What did you do to them when they were young, Nate?
I don't know. I just made them eat the food that I ate. I didn't give them anything special.
Well, we did the same thing. I mean, I don't know what Skylar did because we don't really have them. We never had it. Well, we did for a while, but I just have them for breakfast now, and it's the hardest thing in the world to get him to eat. So I've been getting him to eat a banana and peanut butter toast
Perfect.
because he just, I'm like, I got sausage dog. No, he doesn't like eggs, at least over here, So it's bagel with cream cheese, and I'm like, dude, you need more protein. So I started doing bagel with peanut butter, and then I got bananas. I'm like, but he goes through cycles, right? For a week he'll like bananas, then he won't like them anymore.
Yeah, I think that's a kid thing,
It's-
right? Like it's like
Yeah,
I'll
it
feed my
must
kids like,
be.
hey, you guys liked this last time. They're like, we hate
Right.
that now. You're like,
Yeah,
"Well, since
yeah.
when? They're like, since right this second. Bring me chicken nuggets.
It just
And I'm
started.
like, okay, how about no chicken nuggets, and that's all the food you get, and no snacks from that for a week because I'm mad.
Right. I tell him I'll turn the TV off. If you don't eat the peanut butter toast and bananas, man, I'm turning the TV off. You're going to sit on the kitchen island until it's time to go to school and do nothing. He looks at me. I'm like, I'm serious, little man. And he'll pick up his fork and eat his banana. And then, okay, now the toast. It's got peanut butter. I know, you need the protein. Eat it.
Okay, so
Eat it.
I think that peanut butter toast with banana, great breakfast for him, no problem. I'm gonna die on this hill. Peanut butter's not
Okay.
protein.
It's
Hard
not.
stop. It's
Why?
not protein. Peanut
Why
butter's
not?
fat. Peanut butter's
Talk
fat,
to
and
me.
not only is it fat, it doesn't even have a
wow.
complete amino acid profile, so it doesn't even qualify as being
Oh.
in the ballpark of protein.
Dude, I've been lied to my whole life. You too, right, Mike? You thought it was protein?
He just blew me
I
away.
told-
That's why I said.
I
talk to me.
told. So fuck me, dude.
Sorry.
Well,
You know,
no,
here's the
that's
thing,
good
though.
to
Here's the
know.
thing. Here's what you
Okay.
can do.
Okay,
So
okay.
peanut butter, there's this powdered peanut butter called PB2
Yeah,
or
PB
Fit.
Yep, I got it.
Yeah. Take that and mix it with a little bit of Greek yogurt.
Okay.
Now it's a protein source because that it has a little bit more protein in it because the fat
Okay.
was way reduced, and then the Greek yogurt has protein in it, and then smear that on a bagel, and it's like a nice creamy. If you take the powder and mix it into Greek yogurt and like whisk it
Yeah.
really good, it becomes this
Yeah.
like nice whipped topping texture. It's nice.
So I'll just tell him it's a different peanut butter then, because if I
Yeah.
tell him it's Greek
It's
yogurt,
peanut,
PB2,
tell them it's
he'll be
peanut
like,
butter frosting.
Okay.
So, let
Greek,
me ask
just
you
like
this then.
yeah. Go ahead, Mike.
We thought that peanut butter was semi-healthy for us, right? Is it not healthy at all? Does
Mm-hmm.
it provide really no benefit other than to turn? A lot of things turn into sugar that people don't realize, right? Is that one of them?
No, I would say it's very hard to convert fats and proteins into sugars. It's really easy to convert carbs. It costs a lot of our body's like processes to convert them. I will say, peanut butters seem to be a little bit more like mold heavy than almonds, so that's like kind of a negative. They are also really high in fat, and while that's not necessarily a bad thing, a lot of people like fat and need it in their diets.
I need it,
It's
yeah.
extremely easy to overeat fat. Like if you track your calories at any time, and you're like, okay, I'm trying to get 90 grams of fat today. It's so easy to go to 140 in like a meal. You eat one ribeye, and then all of a sudden you're like, how am I at 120 already? It is extremely easy. So whenever I have people who are having a hard time losing weight, or they're like, man, I'm eating really clean, but I'm not getting the results I want. most of the time it's two culprits. They're not sleeping correctly or they're eating too much fat. And I just see that over and over and over and
Sleep
over
is
again.
huge.
So I don't want to say that like, no, there's no benefit to it because there's like, it's got nutrients in it. It's got vitamins and minerals.
Okay, what if somebody comes and asks you the opposite question like myself? Sometimes I have trouble putting on weight, right? I'll go through periods where, I mean, you know, there's women out there screaming at me right now, but I will actually eat what I want forever and I'll lose weight at the same time, right? I know part of it's stress sometimes. Sleep is another one. You know, I go through periods where I don't sleep so well, but what would you advise to somebody that came to you and said, I have trouble putting on weight? What do I eat then?
Tacos. Lots and lots of tacos.
Yeah.
That's healthy, right?
Yeah, healthy tacos.
tacos
Tacos
are
can be
healthy.
healthy.
No,
Right,
right.
thank you.
No, I'm just throwing that in there.
Yeah, no, I think that there's a couple things. Number one is that I think this idea of like bulking and adding an extra 500 to 1,000 calories every single day to gain weight is not ideal. When we look at studies about people gaining muscle, you don't need much more than your maintenance level of calories to gain muscle. To gain weight, we can do that easily. Stack the peanut butter, a little bit of ice cream after dinner.
Yeah.
Just make sure you're getting some snacks in, staying fed all the time. That's a great way to gain weight. Drink a bunch of milk.
I can't
Lots
do
of
that.
sodas.
And be really, really lazy
I
Easy.
can't have dairy, so
and just
that
live on your
limits me there.
couch.
All right, well, just eggnog then. It's probably not dairy. But
and
if
then
you're
just
trying to
live on your
gain
couch, man.
muscle and gain like good weight, a lot of times that's going to be focusing in on your pre and post workout nutrition and making sure those are low fat meals, but high carb, high protein meals. So usually like a lot of times like that's where the biggest meals of the day will come from because pre-workout, you're now fueling your body, giving yourself the nutrients it needs, the glycogen in your muscles to be able to go exercise. And then post-workout, you've now burned off that muscle glycogen, so you're refilling those stores. And then what's cool about the post-workout window is I love this, is that when you work out and then you eat most of your carbs, you're starting to train your body that when we eat carbs, it goes to muscle. That's where we put it. Rather
Oh,
than
really?
let's goes to storage, just generally. Yeah.
Okay.
So I think that if
So
you
when I get done working out, I should eat say that again? I should eat carbs? when I get done working out?
carbs and proteins is probably your ideal. Limited fats because you don't want to slow digestion down too much. In that post workout, you want to give yourself the ability to digest and put those nutrients where they go pretty quickly.
Okay.
So my top carbs, you didn't ask, but I'll tell you anyways.
Yeah, I was gonna go there.
Potatoes number
know
one.
me.
Potatoes and sweet potatoes number one for sure.
I love potatoes.
Me too.
Yeah.
From the
You-
motherland.
I can tell from the
I
motherland.
love them. From the motherland. We had a potato famine. We lived
Rice.
on potatoes. All the
Some
time.
people
I
can't do
love
rice,
too.
but
love
rice I think is like a pretty innocuous carb. It doesn't do much to you. Doesn't keep people like
Big
super
fan of
bloated.
rice.
Big fan of what, Mike?
Big fan of rice.
Rice. I like jasmine rice.
Oh, jasmine rice. Jasmine rice is the best. If you're gonna do it, that long grain jasmine. I also been like trying to make
Yeah.
like the black
Yeah.
rice,
Is that
the
good?
forbidden rice. But but making that in your rice cooker, not so great. Fruit.
You know what I learned about making, I'm sorry, this is a total squirrel moment. You know what I learned about making rice in a rice cooker?
What?
As soon as it's done, take all the rice out because then the pan doesn't have rice stuck to it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like
that's
we would
smart.
just make rice and then we'd scoop out for the meal, right? And then let it sit.
No,
and
no,
like,
no.
fuck me, the whole thing's covered right. Take it all out at once and you're good, man.
Do that in any cooking utensil you're using all the time, always.
Oh, okay.
That's just the way you
okay.
cook.
Oh,
Wow.
I didn't
Yeah.
know. We'll have
That
another
sounds like a
episode
way to
about
get
cooking
more
tips.
pans dirty, which
Right. Cooking. We're going to have another episode, cooking tips from Mike.
That's
'cause I didn't
growing
know
up with
that.
Mama Kay and keeping things organized and not having all this stuff in the end. Yeah.
Okay. So
She's
I'm sorry,
very
Nate. I took,
organized in
yeah,
the kitchen.
I took you off. I took off your
No,
path
we're on
of
fruits. He said
fruits.
fruits.
Fruits is number 3
rice.
for me.
Okay. Okay.
Three.
So potatoes, rice.
Potatoes, rice,
Specific
fruits.
fruits or
fruits.
any fruits, Nate? Do you have super fruits that you like to?
I
push
think
on
if we're gonna put something in a superfood category, which I think is largely marketing and bullshit, like pomegranates,
Yes, thank you.
acai berries, they're not super fruits. There's a lot of vitamins and minerals in them, but blueberries have got to be up there.
Yes.
They're just so good. They're so hot, like so rich in antioxidants, and they're
Love 'em.
so limited in calories and sugar, and they're just delicious. So berries are
Can I ask
always
you
one of the
this?
best ways to go. Generally,
Okay,
if I
so-
have someone who's trying to get away from eating a lot of sugar or is trying to lose weight, I have them stay away from the higher glycemic fruits. That's the bananas, the pineapples, the mangoes. Those are a little higher glycemic. But I think grapes. But like berries, apples, oranges, you can't go wrong with those guys. Like having those for lunch, just like eating some protein, apples and oranges. It's just like that's the way God intended us to eat food.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Apple a day
So
or
if I-
does something important.
Yeah. So if I ate a medley of pineapple chunks, watermelon chunks, and blueberries and strawberries every afternoon, is that a good or bad thing?
Are you having protein with it?
It's my afternoon snack.
So is that a no or is that a yes? I can't tell from the
That's
answer
a
that
no.
you-
It's my well before that, or typically before that, it will have. Actually, I'm sorry. I have lunch and that's my afternoon snack, and then a couple hours later, I'll have a protein based chicken
What's
rice.
your lunch?
It's typically some type of chicken, tuna, rice, tortilla, cheese.
So I don't like the necessarily the good or bad label, the clean or dirty, the real
know,
binary. Like
I know.
you're eating whole foods that are nutrient rich, antioxidant rich. That's great.
Okay.
What I would love to see is maybe add in like, just even like a half scoop of protein or something like that just on the side, because what's happening is now you're increasing your glycogen in your blood. So your blood sugar goes up. Okay.
Okay.
And blood sugar is the key to opening up cell doors, right? So if all you have is blood sugar or triglycerides, fats floating around, it's easy to open up fat doors and stuff into fat storage.
Oh, no shit.
But if you have proteins and amino acids floating in the blood as well, it's easier to open up muscle cell doors and pack those into muscles. So,
So if I
that's
sprinkled
why
it
the
with
rule is if it doesn't have
PB2?
protein, don't eat it.
Right. So if I
Right, so-
sprinkle it with PB2, it would be fine. If I sprinkle the
PB2 is a
fruit?
pretty low protein, but like get a half scoop of whey protein, a scoop of PB2, and then that's your little drink with it. That'd be
Okay.
amazing. It'd be a great way to add some size, Mike. Per your question,
You keep pushing this dairy on me though. See, I'm a challenge, Nate. I
what
can't
was
have-
the dairy? What was the
I
dairy?
can't
part?
Can't do
weigh
dairy.
anything.
You can't have any
Okay,
dairy,
we'll
no.
have the beef protein isolate. I don't give a shit.
Okay. See, a lot
Just
of
don't eat
things.
plant-based protein. Come on.
A lot of these questions I'm asking is because I have like what I would call pedestrian knowledge of this shit, right? It's just from listening to podcasts, so I have
Yeah.
different opinions. When you were on the first time, everything you said made total sense, right?
And today it's like, what are you talking about, bro?
No, no, no.
What the fuck you
That's
talking
why
about,
we
man?
wanted your opinion.
What are you talking
on,
about?
How do you feel about what the news was that came out? And I like your answer in that I'm just going to do what I've always been doing because nobody paid attention to that shit anyway.
But like so beef protein isolate is a good non-dairy type of protein. A couple tips on that. If you're going to get beef protein isolate, always get chocolate because it's kind of a rich mocha-y flavor. It's a much richer protein than whey.
Okay.
Do not get the watermelon flavored beef isolate. You're going to think I should get watermelon flavored beef isolate. It's a good idea. Do not do that under any circumstances, Mike.
Okay.
Don't do it.
So-
and then the other thing that it could be good is an egg white protein, and there's this stuff called Muscle Egg, which sells gallon jugs of pasteurized egg whites that you could literally just drink.
Okay.
Like a cup of it is like 30 grams of protein, and if you get the cake batter one, it's legitimately it's delicious. But check that out. That'd be a good way to gain some lean muscle mass too.
Awesome.
Muscle Egg. This episode is brought to you by Muscle Egg.
So we had this guy on the show a couple episodes ago. I don't know if you know who he is, Apache Joe. You know who Apache Joe is, Nate?
I'm familiar.
He's from Apache Junction.
He was
Fit guy. He's actually running his 4th full marathon. Water in his mouth the entire time, and a piece of tape over his mouth that says Apache Joe.
Huh.
You guys would be like yin and yang, man. Like from a physique standpoint, from a health standpoint, from what you eat standpoint. Like I was trying to find something on his Instagram where he's actually just standing still. he's always moving. I found him in a dad's group on Facebook. I think it's the same group that you and I are in. But really, really cool dude. Super nice guy. I think I even mentioned Mike, didn't I? Like we should have him and Nate on at some point in time.
You did.
I did because I
fun.
think you guys would just same cloth, man.
Yeah,
And
I
he's
about-
that guy that even
I
even
about
when
fell out
even
of my
when
chair when he said he ran that whole marathon with.
yeah.
He's like, yeah,
Water
I
in his
use
mouth.
tape over my mouth to prove that you
Yeah.
know I
To
can have
do
the same
breathing,
water.
to nasal breathe like that requires like a lot of diligent training. That's amazing. I sleep with mouth tape on sometimes.
You
and
do?
when I try to when I do jiu-jitsu or when I do cardio, I try to breathe through my nose as much as I can. But at a certain point, like I stop being able to do that. So
And
that's
he does it with
incredible.
water. He does it with water in his mouth the whole race. And he was telling us
26
how, yeah, 26.2 miles.
He holds the
ta-
same sip of
he was
water in his
telling-
mouth?
Yeah.
He's telling us how, yeah, there's his water. He says Spartans did it. He's like the Spartans were going 10-mile runs with water in their mouth.
Whoa.
Like it's crazy. It's some breathing science and I was like, dude, I've tried it before, but with my asthma, I always end up having to open my mouth. I just can't. And he's like, well, I have asthma. I'm like, okay, that's cool, but I'm not Apache Joe.
Yeah, some people are built different, though. You know, some like you
Right.
know, I think about David Goggins sometimes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
One of
Like,
the
that
best
guy-
Rogan episodes ever.
That guy like on paper, you're like, whoa, what a beast, and then you're like, bro, you could have avoided all of that trauma if you had just done like a cursory Google search about electrolytes.
Sure.
He's like, I'm going to run a marathon. I poured broken glass into my shoes. You're like, why would you do that? Who are you trying to prove this to?
Himself. And
Yeah,
only
apparently,
himself.
but like, I don't know. Like, I just like again, like I always think about the ROI. Like, what is the point of this? What is
Did
the
you ever
return on
listen
the
to him
investment?
on
you're making?
Rogan, Nate? Not to interrupt you. I apologize. Talk over you. but
I've heard clips. I don't listen to Rogan episodes because they're long, and I don't, and they're long.
over 8 million people have
He doesn't have the
listened to
attention
his.
span.
If you listen to it, you would understand.
That's
why
just
he
that
does it.
episode.
Yeah, just that particular
Okay.
episode. And here's why. He admits over and over and over again, I'm a dummy, right? I could have done things to your point, I know I could have done things way easier, but when you hear the beginning of his story and how he grew up,
I read his book.
yeah, he barely had a chance, right? So just keeps admitting, all I knew how to do was overcome, right?
yeah.
And he overcame in the only way he knew possible, and it wasn't always the right thing, but his motivation and his discipline is unmatched, in my opinion.
I just don't want him to be 55 and not be able to do anything ever again because he just was like couldn't be bothered to like do something the right way or wear the right running shoes.
Sure.
I'm running a race in Tevas. You're like, why?
Which is why I asked you the question earlier, how much credence do you give to recovery versus pushing yourself to the limit, right? Because the new mindset is we don't push ourselves to the limit or past. We push ourselves 80% to the limit and we recover so that we can keep doing it when we're 60, right? John
And I think there's a
Harbaugh's
lot to
benching
that.
400 pounds or squat.
400 squatting 450 pounds.
63
8 times.
years old.
8 times. I don't know the age because
That's
the video
wild.
didn't say the age.
He's 63.
But right now he is. But I don't know the age of the video because he was in the Ravens gear, Ravens athletic room, whatever.
That video was
And-
from this
yeah.
season.
Oh, okay, I didn't know.
Yeah,
I just
yeah, I
okay,
saw
cool,
it.
cool,
I know what you're
cool,
talking
cool. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, right on.
But I think
on.
that I think we were so like everyone was so intense for a minute with like CrossFit and pushing yourself and puking, give yourself rhabdomyolysis. And then we're
never
shifting
puked,
the needle
man.
way back to being like, well, it's only cold plunge and only drink green tea and only go to 80% because you can't. But I also think there's like, again, like I don't like these black and white, like one side or the other. I think you got to push yourself sometimes.
Yeah,
And then you got to also
agreed.
recover really
Amen.
hard. So you got to have those
agree.
really smart times. Like when I train, I call it the TEF method, the top end failure training. So if let's say we're doing like a pull down, just doing a pull down.
Okay.
Okay. We'll do 12 reps, then we'll do 10 reps, then we'll do 8 reps, something like that.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
First set, we'll do 100 pounds on the 12 reps. We could have done another 8 or 10 reps. No problems.
Right.
Second set, we're doing 10 reps and we're going to be doing 150 pounds. Okay. We got 10 reps. We could have gotten 12 or 13. And then on 8 reps, we're going to go to 180 pounds and we're going to get 7 and we're not going to quite get our 8. And then we're going to go to the top and we're going to do these small little baby reps. All we got another 6
Yeah,
in there and
all
then we're
out,
done.
right?
So you
Yeah.
did 7.5 like real reps. You did like another 7 like baby reps at the top. And then all you did was it's like playing poker, right? You did the small blind on your first couple sets, you did big blind, you did the flop, and then you went all in on your chips. And most people don't ever like they go all in and then they fold before they see the last card because they don't push themselves to those last 2 or 3 reps. But like, so there's that side where you see people benching 135 pounds for 10 reps this year, next year, and the following year because they never push themselves to their limit and force their body to change. And there's the other side where people try to go up 50 pounds every single workout and end up blowing out a rotator cuff. And the answer, as always, is somewhere in the middle where it's like choose your points.
Sure.
Choose the intensity, do something hard, but like I was talking about earlier, the human drags, the sled drags, those are high ROI things that you can really fucking suffer during if you put your mind to it, but are not going to destroy your body. So that's the mentality that I like to bring is like, yes, let's get intense. Let's do it smart. And then let's work our asses off in a way that's not going to like absolutely destroy us or decimate us for 2 weeks to come. So we can come back and train the next day.
Well, that's why I wanted you to explain that
Yeah.
because before we started recording, we were talking about different things, and I told you, I think I was talking to Chris, and I said I had a ton of guitar students who basically would have the same lesson over and over and over again because they never pushed themselves. They didn't have the discipline to do the weekly work to move on to the next thing. That's why I wanted you to explain working out in the same way. There
Hey,
are times,
I'm so sorry. I have to go. My wife just got in a car accident.
oh Jesus,
No, shut up. Did she really?
Yeah, I'm so sorry.
Serious?
No.
All right.
Holy shit.
Hope
Yeah, you
she's
guys-
okay.
Yeah.
Hope she's okay.
All right, I'll talk to you
It's
soon.
Prayers,
Terrible.
brother.
Thoughts and prayers. That's weird.
Whoa.
Terrible. Terrible. Sorry, Nate. Hope she's okay.
Yeah, prayers to Nate's wife.
That's a terrible text to get. On a positive text to get while we're doing the show, Jake, Marine, texts me. I'm getting moved to another unit. I'm like, oh, I got orders to be supply chief.
Congratulations, Jake.
Right?
Where at?
Right? I'm like, right? I don't know.
Oh,
he
it
didn't expand there. He just
Oh, okay.
he just said I got orders. He's like, I'm moving to another unit. And I said, why? He's like, I got orders to become the new supply chief.
Well,
So he was telling me
congratulations, Jake.
He was telling me a couple of days ago that when he first got to Pendleton doing his job, the person in charge at the time got like a 37% on kind of like when I ran group home. State would come into the houses and they'd have this major checklist they'd go through, like all the rooms had to be clean, the bathrooms had to be clean, you know, like kind of like white glove test. They had to all my pill minders had to jive with the actual medications themselves, the doses, the times that they have to give them. All my logs had to jive. All the programs, the clients, the people that we took care of, we called them clients, were on, you know, programs. And it's going to sound weird, but it's like one of our guys repeated himself. Like he just repeated himself, you know, like nonstop. So one of his programs was he would only repeat himself up to 3 times, you know, a day. So if during the day, if he only did it 3 times, then he would get a check mark that he'd accomplished that. If he repeated himself like 20 times, having a bad day, he'd get a 0. So, but all that stuff had to jive. Okay.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, and just, you know, I loved him. There was this group of 4 that I started with, and just like legit, just the greatest 4 humans that I've ever been around my entire life were those 4 guys, which is why I smile when I talk about it, because it was fantastic. Even though they were, you know, they weren't there. They were our age, but mentally, you know, 7 years old. But
Right.
it's just, you know, it was cool. It was a great place to be in
That's
that time of my
awesome,
life. So they just did that for him because he took that person's spot. So he just had it and he got like a 95. So he killed it. So it's, I mean, that's pretty cool that now he's being, you know, moved. Nikki just asked where to. He didn't say.
I asked the
We're
same
waiting a
question.
response. Waiting a response.
Probably thinking the same thing I thought when you said that. Hopefully back to Arizona.
No, he doesn't want to come to Yuma. Yuma sucks, man.
Oh,
He's in Pendleton. It's going to be somewhere there. It's going to probably be Pendleton or MCRD. I'm assuming it's going to be Pendleton. He's trying to get back to DI school, which if he does, which he feels like he'll have no problem doing, that'll be October of this year for that first cycle, and then do that. And then, you know, all of a sudden he'll turn into a lifer if that happens. I was cleaning out the one of the barns, right? And I found 5 totes. One of the totes was filled with song lyrics. Like, what the fuck? A tote. I'm talking a
whole
tote. A whole tote. Like a file folder. I took the file folder out of the file cabinet and put them in the tote. So it's all alphabetically organized. I don't have it with me, but then I found this.
I'm burning with anticipation.
Well, it's kind of funny. So that's my wife as a baby. 3.5 years old. It's a good thing she doesn't watch this because she would be pissed.
I have many similar photos, so trust me when I sympathize. Oh, look at that full head of hair there.
That's a young Chris Dunham right there.
Oh yeah, I see the
I have no
likeness.
idea when this. I have no idea when this was because there's no date on it. No date at all. But yeah, it was
Somewhere
kind of
there's a-
cool. Like
Somewhere
Yeah, go
there's a
ahead.
picture of me with ET glasses, buddy. So they
this
say
this
ET
was
on
kind
the
of cool
side.
though. I found this. This is probably from the very first Come Bite the Apple thing I ever got from Mother Love Bone.
That's awesome.
Yep, Fish Islands. But this is what I thought was cool. This is what I wanted to grab. This is gonna blow your mind. It's a newspaper. I don't know why I had the newspaper because I scoured all the. It's a sports book. I scoured all the things to find out why did I save this? Because back in the day in Arizona, this is '83, so I was 13 years old. They used to have when you played summer ball, which is Parks and Rec, they would come out and the sports writers for Tribune and Republic would watch the games, and then
They
they
did
would
the same
mention
thing for us.
they do this. Yeah, do the stats. Oh, Chris Dunham had went for 4 with
Yep.
you know
My mom's
3
got all that
RBIs.
stuff.
Yeah. This is what I thought was cool. Okay, Friday and Saturday only. Okay, look at the price of the car, brand new car.
15.8. A Cougar.
Right. Yeah, a 1983 brand new 1983 Lincoln Town Car for $15,888.
I want you
New
to.
styling, new look Cougar for $199 per month.
Okay, that's. I was gonna say. I
Yeah.
want you to hold that
Yeah.
up again, and here's why.
Okay.
Because
okay.
even though the price of a new car now
Mm-hmm.
is on average
100,000,
over
yeah.
well on average it's over 30,000. I think it's over
Okay.
32,000 now.
Okay. Yeah.
They can still get you that same $199.84 payment, ladies
Right.
and gentlemen.
Yes, they can.
It's just for 8 years now instead of 3.
Right. Right. But I thought that was cool because I'm like, why did I save this? Why did I save this? And then the front page had a bunch of Harleys.
How much are those?
It doesn't give me the price
It
of them.
just
It
says
just says
monthly, huh?
Yeah. 12.9% finance rate. Your,
That's pretty
your,
high.
Your rebates are between 2 and 3. Well, motorcycles rebate interest rates are always high because there's a death trap. Like the odds of you having this thing in 10 years to resell it is slim to none.
Okay, then flip that
You know.
over. Does it say the interest rate on that $199 a month
Oh,
payment?
yeah, let me check.
Because interest rates back then for houses were really high in 1983,
Right. Yeah, they were.
over 10%.
94. 24 months or 20 to 12.25, 13.25. 13.25% interest rate for the 199. 13.25.
That's high, man.
There's the ghost. Right.
So for people out there that are crying that it's 8% or whatever it is right now,
Shut the front door.
it's
And look how nice that is from 1983. That's a 1983 newspaper,
because you've
man.
kept it out of the light.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Light and humidity are ink and paper's worst enemy. So you're in Arizona and you've kept it in a tote. You're good.
I kept it in a tote in a barn, down by the river. But yeah, so that was kind of cool because when I pulled out I opened the lid. I'm like, holy shit, these are all lyrics, and I found this Ziploc bag of the photos. And then the fun classic baseball. Remember those?
Oh yeah, my mom's got all
Yeah.
those too.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's crazy.
Bill
They did that
Flowers.
nationwide, right? Everybody
Right.
thought that was unique to where they were at. You got the exact same photo I do.
Yep. This was a cool one. That's my brother and I and my grandmother, who was just the bomb diggity.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Where did she live in Illinois?
Yeah, she did. She lived in Pleasant Plains, Illinois. She would come visit. Yeah, so that was it. I'm not going to sit here and go over them, but yeah, a lot of baseball frames, and then pictures of my wife. Another one she'll hate. That's her and Sky when Sky was a baby. Don't ever show that again, she'll say.
Hey,
A little girl, little Nikki, 1977, August
Even
5th,
though-
1977.
I'll say one thing. I hate having my picture taken. Anybody that knows me knows that.
Yeah.
But just to prove that I'm an enigma in every part of my life,
Yeah.
I've never heard anybody say, "I'm sorry I have that photo." I've only ever heard
Right.
people laugh at themselves and jest, and like you said,
Yeah.
I hate that photo or whatever.
Yeah.
But I've never heard anybody say, "I'm sorry I took that photo." You know?
Yeah, no, it's that's the thing. Like Skylar was over last night. She brings Anthony's stuff over. Chip comes over to visit, and we were talking about photos or something, and we're talking about eyelashes and how she likes eyelashes, and I made the comment. I said, yeah, because no guy ever said, oh, I want a girl with eyelashes, you know, and her husband June says, yeah, it makes you look like Mexican. I was like, yeah, Sky, there were some pictures you had, you know, I don't take selfies. I said, not anymore, but you did. And it's
Right.
because I have them all. There were some of the selfies you took with those eyelashes and makeup on. You look like a cholo. You look like, you know, it like straight up. And she's beautiful. She's beautiful.
Sure.
But some of the stuff, it's just like, okay, homegirl. Like, what's up with that, you know?
Well, it's like Dave Chappelle said in one of his comedy skits. I'm sorry I said that, but some stereotypes are legit, man.
They are. That's true.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
Exactly.
we're not being mean. We're saying, hey, you guys apparently like looking like that because that's how people describe you.
Yeah. Yeah. Nikki's nervous because she's afraid he's going to get sent somewhere else. I'm like, I'm assuming California because why would you, you know, but we'll find out.
I'm
So
sure
let's
he
go
had
back to
plans.
football, how we started. Yeah, let's go back to football because it's interesting. Then we'll wrap this puppy up. So Harbaugh is now the Giants coach, which again, I'm on the fence about it. But the more I learn about him and the more I learn and the more I read about it, it seems like a good fit. There's a guy named, we call him the license plate guy from the New York Giants. You've probably seen him at games. He's used to wear the license plates around his neck, and they would.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, he's like super involved in Giants. I don't know what he does for a living, but he's like super involved in Giants to the fact that he's sidelines everything. You know, so he's championing the cause. I'm like, all right, he knows what he's talking about. You still have 8 vacancies in the NFL coaching carousel, and nobody's being interviewed until after the playoffs, which poses the question: how did Harbaugh get an interview before the playoffs ended? Because you're supposed to have that Fairness Act, right? That they have. And the dude got $20 million a year, 5 years, $100 million contract.
I don't know if there's actually a written rule that says you can and can't do certain things.
I thought it was the Rooney Rule. I thought or was that just minority? Maybe that was just the minority
I
aspect.
have to go with I don't know. I'm sure
Okay.
I'm sure that it must be an unwritten rule. Otherwise, the Giants wouldn't have been able. They're not going to do something illegal or under the
True.
table
True.
that blatant, right?
Yeah, this is true. Yeah. Yeah.
I
yeah.
just don't know enough about, like you said, what the rules. I think it's more of an etiquette was the word I'm looking for. I think it's an etiquette thing more than
Yeah.
a rule.
Yeah.
And
what
in
I
his
find-
case, he wasn't in the playoffs. The Giants weren't. There was no
Mm-hmm.
postseason implications for
No,
him talking.
no.
Right?
No, but yeah, he just got fired last week. Just, and now he's
So
got
that
a
tells me
5-year
nobody wants Mike McDaniel quite yet, right?
No, Jake said Mike McDaniel's going to the Lions.
Oh, he is.
Yeah,
As-
because I thought Mike McDaniel would
as
be a
an
great
OC?
OC. Uh-huh.
Well,
And
they
there's
need one.
rumors now that Dayball's going to Washington to be the OC. Like, that's cool because that means they'll suck because he was the OC called the. I mean, it is what
Right.
it is. Like, you're a
Yeah.
quarterback's coach, Dayball. Just go back to what you know, man. But yeah, McDaniel's. Jake said was going to Detroit. That's the rumor. Which I could say. I think if you're a head coach and you get fired, and Harbaugh's going to be that exception, you don't go be another head coach. I get the reason why. What's funny to me, and I thought about this last night, 3 weeks before this, the end of the season, it was Gruden. Where's Gruden going to go? Where's Gruden going to land? Nobody's talking about Gruden again. Nobody. Which is crazy. There's a little rumor about him going to Tampa, but that was it. It was just a rumor. Nobody's talking about Gruden.
Well, then that means one of two things. Either his mind's already made up and he knows where he's going, or there's
Right.
no interest, right?
True.
I would
And
say
then
it's
Wis-
probably the former. He probably
Yeah,
already
and
knows
then
where he's going.
Yeah, and Kingsbury left Washington out of nowhere, and he wasn't in the head coaching conversation at all either. Which I don't know why he left, but that's kind of weird. I thought.
Well, it might be my own ignorance again, but Washington was a fall from grace from one season to the next. I
They
can tell
were
you that.
well, and part of and Jake, because Jake and I talked about that too. Part of it's because they had such horrific injuries. And
Agreed.
Quarterback got injured 3 separate times, and but that's football, man. Like you can't, and that goes back to which you and I have talked about, which I still fully believe. You don't have the intense practice 2 days anymore. You don't have the full pad practices 2 days anymore. Your body's not getting hit like it was 10 years ago, which is why you have so many injuries now at the beginning of the season and in the middle of the season because your bodies aren't conditioned to get drilled like they were years ago. It's somebody, I was debating somebody, a friend of mine, Ed Glancy, on the Giant post about getting Harbaugh. And somebody commented, well, maybe Jackson Dart will find his way. I'm like, Jackson Dart has his
I
way.
saw your
Jackson,
comment. I agree
yeah.
with what you said too.
Yeah, Jackson Dart, that's how he plays football. Like, shut up. Like, you play football because if football is a violent sport, you don't play football to go out there and as soon as you see you're going to get hit, you slide.
Well, here would be
know.
a silly analogy, but it's an accurate one.
Okay.
We didn't practice with acoustic instruments and then take
No.
our electric instruments to the gig and rock out, right?
Right. Yeah. Because it sounds totally different. And the vibe's totally different. And the energy's different.
Actually,
And
it's
that's
not
a really
silly
good
analogy.
analogy,
It's
actually.
very accurate.
It's a really good analogy.
You
yeah,
can't
you
practice
wouldn't,
soft all summer and then
No.
September, whatever, 27th or whenever the first game of the season is,
Yeah.
then go
Right.
out there and go balls to the wall and run 18, 20 miles an hour at each other at full clip. I don't think
Right.
you're so far from the truth, man.
No,
As far as
and I think
injuries
it's
go.
dramatically. No, I think it's dramatically affected the game. The way that they practice now, collective bargaining agreement has destroyed football. The way it was played and meant to be played. And if you talk to all the old school players that still have all their faculties, because really it's if you look at all the people they played football from the dawn of time to when they started, whistling it out, in the 80s is when they started doing all that stuff, players
Well,
strike,
the-
mid 80s, 90s.
Yeah, towards the latter half of the 80s, I think, is when the unions,
Yeah.
the collective bargaining players union
Right.
came about.
Right. But it
But-
really didn't start dumbing down the physical aspect of it probably until the last 10 years, I think, is when they came up with, you can't have 2-a-days, you can't have full pad practices.
But in the beginning, you have to remember that it was the opposite, where if you didn't play, you didn't get paid. So
Right.
there were two schools of thought. There were owners
Mm-hmm.
who would dope guys up just because they wanted the revenue to keep coming in that they didn't want the stands empty.
Mm. True.
Or there was the players' motivation, like Jim Harbaugh said on the dark side of football, where you just
Mm-hmm. Good
bought a summer
documentary.
home and you got to now you have 2 mortgage payments, and if
Mm-hmm.
you don't go out there and play football, I don't care if you got a broken fucking leg. Let's brace
Mm-hmm. Yep.
it up. Let's shoot you full of whatever. He said it was
Yep.
like a pharmacy in those locker rooms back
Oh,
then.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because if
I'm
you
sure it
didn't
still is. You just
participate-
can't see it.
I don't know. I don't think so. I really don't, because I think there's too much
Hmm.
oversight. And to your point, we have gone all the way in the other direction. I'm intimately involved in a union.
Mm-hmm.
There's just like anything in life, man. I always say everything's perspective, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
The people who say that it's 100% a good thing to have a union, they're wrong. And the people
Yeah.
who say we would be better off without one, you're also wrong.
Right.
The truth is always somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
And I'm glad we actually went down this road again, because I remember talking about this with you the first time. And now that we talked it out again, that's exactly what happened, man. Football it became a dangerous operation in that you weren't going to get paid if you didn't play.
Mm-hmm.
And these people, that was their job. So they didn't
Yeah.
have any income. Okay, we have to form some kind of we're together against the owners, which would be a union, to
Right.
make sure that our rights are protected, in that if we don't play, we get paid. If I get hurt at work, I get paid, right? The company doesn't just
Right.
say, oh, fuck you, Mike, you're out the door.
Right. Well, that goes back to the guaranteed money in contracts, right? Like you have guaranteed money now, regardless of the contract you sign. So because you have guaranteed money, I don't think it then should be like, well, I can't get hit now until the week 1 of the first preseason game I play.
Agreed.
And
So
you know-
now that's the negative
Yeah.
side of
Right.
protecting people too much,
Yeah.
right? Now
Yeah.
what do they say? We've nerfed the world, right?
Yeah, totally. Totally. It's yeah. It used to be the not for long league, Now it's the National Entertainment League. What do you call that? Remember, people used to call it the Not for Long League
Yes.
because you
Yep.
5 years was the average lifespan of an NFL athlete. What the hell was the new act? We just said it not too many shows ago.
I can't remember now.
Something about entertainment. Something about what is it? They filed something. I remember you telling me about it. They filed a trademark or something. It had to do with entertainment now, not.
Oh yeah, they filed a suit in federal court to say that it wasn't a sport; it was an entertainment league. Yes,
Yes, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
it's still obviously the National Football League, but if it's defined as entertainment, not a sport,
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
which lends itself more to the WWE.
Yes, because WWE was pure entertainment. You
But at
know,
least
I
they
mean,
were
I mean,
honest.
huh?
At least they were honest.
Say that again. Right, but the entertainment that professional wrestlers do, that's not easy entertainment. It's blocking, acting. When you're acting on stage, acting in a TV show, acting on a movie, there's blocking. If nobody's ever heard of that, you're blocking. Every scene is blocked. Like, you know, the 2.5 Ninjas comes to mind, right? So you have the scene where John Cryer's in the living room with their kid, with his son, and so they're standing a certain place that's called blocking. And when John Cryer moves across the room, he moves behind the kid because that's blocking. And then Charlie Sheen opens the door, so then they pan the camera. Charlie Sheen goes behind the couch and ends up face to face with John Cryer while Angus the kid's over there. It's blocking. Wrestling's the same concept. You're blocking the moves. You're practicing the moves. I'm Hulk Hogan. You're Macho Man Randy Savage. We're gonna fight. Okay. I'm going to climb up on the ropes. I'm going to be in the corner of the turnbuckle. I'm going to jump. You're going to catch me there, and you're going to throw me this way. And my body's going to do a somersault roll. You're blocking all that shit. It's staged. It's acting. Football, you're not acting, man. It's full on, 60 miles an hour. How do you feel?
Right.
And that's what they're missing because they're not doing that in practice. That's why I think concussions have gone up because you're not getting hit. You're not getting used to getting hit again. You have short time off, right? It's what the season ended 2 weeks ago, so that was the end of December now, right?
Yep.
And then OTAs start in March, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
So you have 3 months.
Yeah,
So-
basically.
And if you make the playoffs, you have maybe a month and 3 weeks because the Super Bowl now is in the first week of February. So if you make it to the Super Bowl, you have a month off. Which is why it's so impressive the Chiefs did what they did and the Patriots did what they did, right? And when the Cowboys did what they did in the 90s, that's you don't have this big time off and you're back to back to back to back. So I think they need to be hit more frequently before the preseason starts to eliminate a lot of the injuries that they have now, because you're not pushing your body anymore. Like Nate was talking about, you don't push yourself enough to sustain the level of being pushed, right?
Or have they created superhumans in that league and that those people are just dangerous? You're going to get hurt no matter
Possible,
what, right?
Possible, yeah.
Look at a guy from 1983 on the offensive line and look at
Right.
a guy from 2023 on the offensive line, right?
Yeah, a lot more muscle mass now than fat.
Well, we understand nutrition. We just had a guy tell us for an hour how
Right.
much we understand nutrition to the point where we know exactly where your carbohydrates go when you do
Yeah.
certain things, where your proteins go when you do certain things. We can
Which I didn't know
control
that.
how your body's built. I didn't either. That was
Yeah.
fascinating.
Yeah, I'd like to have him come back and just talk about nutrition, like we're gonna sidetrack because we always do, but it'd be cool to talk about. Okay, if you want to gain weight, this is the type of nutrition. If you want to lose weight, this is the type of nutrition. This is how you should eat when you should eat, the frequency of your eating, right? Because so many people have so many different ideas of when and how they should eat. I have a friend, every 2 hours she'll eat something. Every 2 hours. Every 2 hours.
And I'm not
Right.
far from
And-
that, man.
So is that good or bad? I don't know. Yeah,
Well, I think everybody's
And I don't know if it's
body
good or
is
bad,
different, right?
sure, absolutely. And it depends on what you're doing from a physical standpoint too, because I forgot how hungry I was after doing Orange Theory Fitness, as opposed to not doing Orange Theory Fitness, because I can burn 1,000 calories in 53 minutes, and then I still have the rest of my day. And I'm like, I legit came home and had 2 hamburgers with cheese and a cup of rice. That's what I ate post workout.
You just proved my point. So
Right?
if let me see how I want to phrase this. If you're
Okay.
somebody who's lucky enough on the outside to be on the outside looking in, and they're shadowing you somehow, and they say, "Wow, Chris Dunham, he can eat 2 cheeseburgers and a bowl of rice. He can do that every day, and he never gains a pound." Right? He's a Adonis. How does he do it?
Right.
They don't see that you're going to work out to the point where you're dripping
Right.
sweat. You don't want to be talked to. You're just there
Right.
on a mission, right?
To work out. I'm there to
If
kick my
I
ass.
eat 2 cheeseburgers after just working for 10 hours, and I do that every day
Right.
and a bowl of rice, I'm going to start gaining belly fat all over the place because I'm not
Yeah.
doing anything with all that protein, right? That's
Right,
why I'm
yeah.
saying everybody's nutrition, and I wanted Nate to get to that, and he did. Everybody's nutrition is different, right?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
based on what you're doing and how you're living your life. You said it earlier. If you're sitting on the couch every day, you're going to gain weight for sure, especially if you're eating, Hostess apple pies and bread and
Right. And just to clarify, I didn't have McDonald's cheeseburgers. I had 2 smash burgers that we made last night on the Blackstone. I made extra, so when I came home today, basically those 2 beef patties that were smashed, I threw cheese on it and a cup of rice and nuked it.
delicious.
So it wasn't like I'm supersonic cheeseburger, sonic size fry, Route 45 iced tea. Woo! That's what I used to order at Sonic years and years and years ago. That was my thing. Supersonic cheeseburger with mayo, sonic size fry, and a Route 44 iced tea.
You guys have In-N-Out in Arizona, right?
We do, and I've only been there a handful of times with Jake. I don't remember. Don Warnock, our buddy Don, he's always wanted me to send him In-N-Out burger. Like, got to send me an In-N-Out burger, brother. I'm like, I don't know how. So that's why I got him that Kansas City Chiefs banner that I found. It was on Marketplace one day. And I was like, Don would love that. And I messaged the chick. I'm like, hey, is this available? She's like, yeah. I said, you want this for it? She's like, yeah. I said, all right, cool. I'm there. And then like the next time I went and picked it up and shipped it to him. I was like, what's your address, Don? He's like, why? I said, I'm going to send you something. And I'm sure in his head was like, ooh, I'm getting burgers. I'm getting
In-N-Out.
burgers. Right. And then he's like, and then he was blown away by what he got because it was the coolest thing to him ever. Because here's this random thing I saw that I knew he would love. And it's like, there you go.
That is awesome.
It was fun. Okay, somebody asked me if they could show on my listings. Like, which one? I have many. Can I show one of your listings at 115 today? Which one?
I don't just have
Lead
one.
with the address. Lead with the address. Hi, Chris. Can I show your? I think. Did you mean to say via day?
I'd have to respond back and say I try not to have all my eggs in one basket, so define which.
Well, her thing says, can I show you via day? I'm like, via day? Oh, I gotcha. Sure. Let me tell the owners. Yeah, Verizon went down yesterday, which I had Monday. Monday it went down. And I'm like, or Wednesday? Wednesday it went down. I'm like, I have Verizon. I'm fine.
So it didn't affect you at all, huh?
Not at all. Not at all.
I saw a lot of bitching on Facebook about that.
And that's how I found out about Neanderthal posted that I'm not ignoring you. Verizon is down. And I was like, what do you mean Verizon's down, man?
So that makes me wonder if they got hacked. They cover up a lot of that stuff.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
having networking issues. I'm starting to think most of the time these companies are getting hacked.
I think so too, and I think part of it is that's where I think our next wars are heading. It's going to be cyber.
Yeah, it would
It's gonna be-
change
it's-
things
yeah.
to 1,000,000%.
Yeah, they're going to go because the chemical war was COVID. I think that was a chemical war that China won just to see if they could do it. Conspiracy theorists chime in.
I like
'Cause-
conspiracies.
I mean, you think about it because we've always had the flu, right? But now all of a sudden, the only people that die are the ones that go to the hospital and get stuck on the ventilator. Nobody else died from COVID unless they're in the hospital on a ventilator. I've talked to people that had perfectly healthy humans in their life and they got COVID, and the spouses urged them to go to the hospital. They walk in the hospital, ventilator. 3 days later, they're dead.
That happens so much during that time,
Right?
man.
It was the wrong way to treat the flu. So I really think that was something that was China won that war. Love me or hate me. That's my thought on that.
No,
I was telling the viewers.
I would tend to agree with that. And I would think right now, if you're witnessing what's going on, we're chasing the petrodollar. You know, we're trying to keep the dollar alive by maintaining our stranglehold on oil because we're broke. You know, I mean,
Right.
you got to
And we're
just
going-
rip. You got to rip the Band-Aid off. We're broke, ladies and gentlemen.
And we're going after Greenland. Greenland's a nice piece of the pile. It's a nice card. As Nikki says, Donald is playing his own game of Risk, and he's got Venezuela. Now
I
he's going
like
for
that.
Greenland,
I like that.
and he's going to go for Australia next.
Real
You
life
know.
risk.
Right.
It
How should you
is.
explain it? Who the fuck?
That's
Who the
brilliant.
fuck wants to go after Greenland? What has Greenland done to anybody? They're owned by Denmark.
You
It's
tell
cold as
Nicky,
fuck.
I said that's brilliant. He's playing a
Right,
real
I
life
told him
game
it was
of
brilliant.
risk.
Right, because I mean, really, like, you know, of all the things,
I
get
looked
the
at that scroll bar last night, dude, and it was if Mexico doesn't do this, we're going to do that. If Iran doesn't going to do this, we're going to do that. Oh yeah, and by the way, we're going to take over Greenland. And I thought the same thing. I was like, whoa, you know, I can understand maybe Mexico owes us money or whatever. You could make arguments for the other two, right? Iran
Right.
and Mexico, maybe you can make arguments.
Yep.
I said the same thing. I'm like, whoa, pause. Greenland.
yeah, yeah. What did what the fuck Greenland do?
People
He
forget
just- he-
Greenland's even there.
Right. I didn't know Greenland. I was because I'm shitty at geography. I thought Greenland was above us, not Canada, eh?
Oh,
Like
okay.
I legit.
That's off to the right.
And then when my buddy Paul Pouquet, he's like, no, dude, Canada runs all the way from Seattle to New York, brother. I'm like,
Yep.
I looked at Nikki, really? Yeah, no shit. I
Greenland's
need to look at a
over here.
map again. I didn't go to school a lot when I was young because of my asthma and illness, so I missed some significant geography days, apparently.
It's the largest island
yeah.
in the world.
And you know, I know that now. But Venezuela, I get why you had to go after Venezuela. I get that because of the chaos and the tyranny and the dictatorship and the mass killings and all that kind of nonsense.
Can I
the
present
corruption.
an argument
Yes,
to you?
please.
Because I agree with you, and my
Yes.
initial thought was exactly what you just said. That
Okay, fire away.
100%. So then I think
Fire
that's
away.
through to the bone, right?
You do.
What if the Chinese showed up here tomorrow on the
Yep.
east and west coast and said, "We don't like the way you're running your country,
Okay.
so we're here to make sure that you run it the right way"? What are we
Okay.
going to do?
We're gonna go to war.
The only reason that Venezuela didn't do that is because they're in chaos. But what business is that of ours, is my question, right? If somebody showed up and told Chris Dunham, "I don't like the way you're raising your kids. We're here from the state of Arizona to make sure that you do it the right way."
Okay.
They're not being abused.
I would sit down
They're
and-
not
okay.
malnourished.
Right,
You have
right,
no
right.
choice in the matter. You have no choice in the matter because they have guns.
Yeah.
Right? You're
They have
going to have
guns,
to do what
yeah.
they say or they're going to take your kids away from you. Here's your list of rules. You either follow
Yeah.
them or they're coming to the camp with me. That's my analogy is what if somebody showed up and told you you had to do X, Y, and Z? How are you going to feel? Oh, we're Americans. We do what we want. That's the problem.
Yeah. That's a good point.
You can do what you want inside this country.
Right.
But when we start going, I know that was a chaotic mess down there. That's a whole separate argument. My argument is, who are we to go there, rip this guy away, even though he's a that's their business.
Right. He wasn't even elected.
Agreed.
He didn't win. He
Here's
just took
another-
office.
For the people who are screaming at me right now, here's a real quick good analogy.
Yeah.
We thought we were doing good when we cut the head off in Libya with Gaddafi, and we created a fucking nightmare that we're still living today. That's a mess, and always
Was
has
that
been.
was that Reagan?
No, that would have been
Was it Carter? Jimmy Carter?
no. This is way later. Like Hillary Clinton was involved in that operation.
Oh, Obama. Obama,
Yeah.
mama?
Yeah, I
Okay.
think it was Obama.
Okay.
They're cutting people's heads off in the street to this day in Libya.
Yeah. Well, and the funny thing too about Obama is Obama deported. We talked about this way before Trump was in office. Obama has deported more illegal aliens from this country than any other president combined.
He's also killed more innocent people with drone strikes than any other president ever.
Right. 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 The biggest difference the argument I get with that, which is legitimate, Obama did it quietly. Trump's doing it through ICE. Trump's
Yeah.
loud. Obama was quiet.
Sure.
It's the method of which they chose to do so with it. And then you see these little things with even Clinton talking about illegal aliens need to be removed. So it's like, we're not getting political, boys and girls, because we're not. We all have, Mike and I voted, and we're big believers that as long as you vote, you're allowed to talk politics without choosing sides. And we're not choosing sides. I'm just bringing that up because ICE is a big topic now. And every president before Trump has talked about illegal immigrants being a major
Every
problem
one
in
of
this
them.
country and how they need to be removed. It's just the methods of which they choose to remove them is different.
Sure.
Trump's look at me, look at me, look at me. Trump's doing what I hoped he wouldn't do. I hoped he would come in and restore his legacy and build a better country for the next president to come in and just pick up and go on. But his legacy, whether you love or hate him, it's not a legacy that's going to be looked at fondly. Because how
Unfortunately, I
he's
think the
doing
guy's
things.
off his fucking rocker at this point. I really do.
I
don't
think
think
they're
he's
all
all
they're all off their rockers. I think the power.
No,
goes
I
to their
mean
head.
like
The
Ronald
bet-
Reagan off his rocker. I think you're gonna find
Okay.
out if he lives long enough. I think
Yeah.
you're gonna find out that like you don't.
Oh, in the
He's
brain.
always said outrageous shit.
He
but
has.
now he's saying stupid shit. Right?
Right.
There's
right.
a difference.
Yeah.
I
agree.
can.
The best.
Howard Stern said outrageous shit for years. You can
Right.
agree or disagree.
Right. He did.
But he built himself into an empire because he was an intelligent man and he knew how to push people's buttons.
Push the buttons. Right. And now
Trump
he's
knew
boring
how to
as
do
fuck.
the same thing, and now he's getting boring as fuck. It's
Right.
like, you're
So
just
now-
saying
yeah.
shit to get.
Be relevant. You're not relevant enough.
Thank you.
The best thing that Trump said in the last probably 4 or 5 months, maybe not that long, maybe the last 2 weeks, is when John Harbaugh got fired, he tweeted that the Giants need to hire that man. And, because, and obviously the Giants listened because they hired John Harbaugh and paying him $20 million a year for the next 5 years.
Whoever
And
said
there-
that he was the best candidate, I agree. I was hoping that's who you guys would get.
After, because I don't follow the Ravens. So all I see in the Ravens is you have 2-time MVP Lamar Jackson, and he one of the top 10 ever running backs in Derrick Henry. Like, I still to this day don't know why Tennessee let him go.
They were stupid.
Pay the man. Derrick Henry the longevity of running back is short, but when you have somebody like Derrick Henry who's proven year after year after year after
He's
year
way
after
more
year,
durable than a regular running
Yes.
back because he's 250 pounds.
Right. Now, if Cam Scadaboo can stop leading with his head, he's going to have a long career too, because Cam Scadaboo is hard to bring down. I did see something about Cam, his introduction to the NFL. He was against the Broncos, and he was signed with blocking, and the defensive lineman knocked him on his ass, like literally knocked him on his ass. Like defensive line was probably 6'4", 380, and put Cam on his ass. And Cam pointed out, that was my welcome to the NFL moment. Like, this guy knocked me on my ass. And he's like, from that point on, I knew I had to come a little bit harder, a little bit faster, a little bit more aggressive. And he did. And he's had he not blown his ankle, his whatever he did, he would have had a hell of a rookie year. Hell of a
What?
rookie year.
I think the Giants were looking at what I'm looking at in that you have a long tenured Super Bowl winning coach
Yep.
from a pedigreed family, just like the Mannings.
True.
You
Yeah.
know, you're talking an entire decades, generations of football
Yeah.
minds in that family
Yeah.
that they have to draw
Yep.
from.
Yep.
And I just think he was the most experienced, mature. The Giants can't just hire anybody, right? It's New York.
No. Right.
He's gonna have to win at some point.
Well, yeah. But the other problem though with the Giants is if you look at the coaches they've hired since, Coughlin contradicts that statement. They hire just anyone.
Well, the Bears did that for a long time too, and you would
They
think
just-
that the city of Chicago, as
Yeah.
big as it is, would put a winning team on the field.
See, that's the thing. The Bears, the Steelers, the Giants, who else is long? The Packers. Those are like the. I don't think of any. I can't really think of any other team. Maybe the Raiders. Those are like 5 coveted, long-standing, religious football teams, right? Like you follow
sure.
these teams with a religion. Like you travel better than anybody. Oh, Nate just sent me a picture. Let's see what happened to his wife.
Man, I hope
Hopefully
she's
it's not
okay.
bloody. Yeah, hopefully it's not bloody. Oh shit! No, okay. Oh shit! Oh yeah! Wow. Okay. Oh,
She's
thank God,
doing
dude.
Pretty good.
Thank you for sharing. We were worried about you. Oh, I'll send you the picture, Mike. Yeah, that's a dinger. It looks like 3 cars involved in the intersection. Which
Pay attention
somebody
out
was
there,
on their
people.
phone.
Get
Not
off your
Nate's
fucking
wife,
phone.
but
Yeah.
somebody was on their phone. Somebody was on their phone because I just sent it to you. Yeah, one. Yeah, somebody was doing something stupid.
And if you have a
I just
car
heard-
like we do nowadays, there is no excuse for that because all you got to do is talk and it'll do whatever you want it to do. You don't have to look or touch it. You don't have to touch anything.
Nope.
Oh yeah.
Although I will say they need to improve Siri, because when you voice text with Siri and then when you get to a stoplight or get to your destination, you look at what Siri just sent, you're like, what the fuck? I didn't say any of that. I have to shit you not, dude. Sometimes I have to, for Siri to understand me, I gotta do this. Hey Siri, text Mike Michaels. Hey Mike, I'm running late. I'll be on the show in about 10 minutes. Jump on with Nate and I'll be there shortly. It gets it spot on. But if I say, hey Mike, it's Chris, I'm running a little bit late. Hop on the show with Nate. I should be on there about 10 after. It'll come back something whack-a-mole. Hey, I'll read it like, hey Mike, it's Chris. I'm wearing a dress. I can't find my slippers, but I should get there within 10 minutes or so. Like, what the fuck, Dave? Like, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. All right, we're gonna wrap this puppy up. Glad your wife's okay, Nate. We'll have you back on as always. As always, appreciate you coming on the
Welcome
show.
here anytime.
Absolutely. Again, this is the Chris and Mike Show. We are proudly brought to you.
We actually are proudly bought to us because they paid
Right.
for this.
We are proud to say a portion of our show is supported by and sponsored by Riverside FM podcast platform. If you've never podcasted with Riverside, check it out. It's pretty cool. It does all kinds of stuff that we love, and we've been doing it now for 100. This is 168th show.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
Yeah, 168 shows. So pretty legit. I use it for my personal stuff too. So check them out, Riverside. And hey, if you're feeling depressed, if you're feeling suicidal, if you're just not having a good day, it happens to everybody. Go journal, go run, go for a walk, go work out. Call somebody to talk to. If you can't find somebody to talk to, text 988. Someone is there standing by to connect with you, to help you get out of that mindset and talk you off that cliff or off that ledge. Tomorrow is always a better day with you in it. Mike and I have both been affected by suicides. It sucks. It leaves a hole in that person's heart. You don't think that people love you. They do. You don't think people care about you. They do. You don't think people will miss you. They will. Don't be that person. Tomorrow is always a better day. So it's even better when you wake up with us. That being said, this is Chris from Mike Show. I'm Chris. He's Mike. Good. Not good. Glad everything's cool. Nate with the wife. Nobody was hurt. That's a blessing, because that would suck. I actually thought it was a joke, not as a bad way, because Nate went down a path of he was doing some stand-up comedy, so I legit thought he was joking. So that's why I was like,
me
"Are you
off guard
joking?"
for a second too, and then I saw his eyes.
Right?
It's like, whoa.
Right. Well, that's me too. Then,
Yeah.
because he does. He was doing some stand-up, so that's what because it was so abrupt. Like, we were in the middle of a conversation. He looks down. He's like, "I gotta go. My wife was in a car accident," and I was like, "Are you
Well,
kidding?
the three of us
Are
have
you
such
joking?"
good chemistry. I could see how that could happen real quick. Right?
Yeah.
We're all fucking jokesters, so yeah. He got me for a second too. I'm super
Yeah.
glad she's okay.
Yeah, absolutely. So until next time, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. As we continue to grow our little Chris and Mike world, we're glad you're part of it and on the journey with us.
Absolutely.
See ya. Love you, brother.
Love you too, man.